Hello and welcome to the Con Couple. I'm Richard,
I'm Caroline,
and we go to a frankly bizarre number of cons every year.
and we're not at one this weekend again.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I will say fall season tends to be less, or probably the slowest for cons. And then there's the Christmas period where they're like no cons, even though everyone has time off, which I think is lame.
Yeah, but people are meant to spend that with like their families
Yeah, but
and stuff.
half the world hates their families.
I don't think it's quite that many, but
It's pretty bad.
yeah.
Most of the people who go to cons do happen to hate their families, so I maintain there's a niche there that's not being used.
I mean, to be fair, couple of years ago, we did in fact go to one that was at New Year's, which we're actually going to talk about that a little bit on this
Well, there are
podcast.
New Year's cons. There's not Christmas cons though.
True.
People are lame. I get that, like, it's unfair to ask volunteers to work over Christmas. That would stink. But if you happen to hate your family, plus I'm volunteering, I can't make Christmas is a great excuse. I don't even know what we're doing for Thanksgiving, and it's in 4 days. So
Technically 5. It's only Saturday, I think.
I don't know. The point is, we still don't know because my father's. He's never going to listen to this. It's fine.
Say what you were going to say.
A scattered adrenaline junkie type. I don't even know what's going on with them. It's fine.
Yeah.
And your family doesn't have Thanksgiving.
No, they're British.
Yes, in case you aren't aware, Thanksgiving is an American holiday. And I'm saying that because I've had to correct multiple people on it this week.
Yes, I had to, one of my new co-workers was surprised that Thanksgiving's not a thing in the UK. So, yay. But, again, it's kind of the nature of the beast.
And we are prepping for Starbase Indy because we're both doing presentations over there that are a bit more involved. So There's that. And we had a bunch of various other bits and bobs to get done this weekend, and there wasn't a lot on. I mean, there is PAX Unplugged, which is a very big con. PAX generally is, but one that's too far away. After 2 other cons where we were away that were smaller ones we're kind of looking forward to a little bit more. And we do have a special correspondent. We'll be giving a special episode about that a little bit later this week.
Yes, we need to work out exactly when we're going to do that, but yes, we will have a special report from our, what does she call herself, our East Coast correspondent?
So, in lieu of that, we decided to record an episode that no one listens to, which is just a various rank list episode that's kind of just us talking while we're in the car.
Yeah.
Those are really popular.
See, the thing is, YouTube likes list episodes. It just does. So this is a tier list episode. Clickbait, clickbait, clickbait. Speaking of clickbait, if you like this, please like, subscribe, share, bug your friends with it.
Well, I will say this episode we might be talking about people, and people do love episodes where we talk about them.
Exactly. Like, write the URL on a carrier pigeon and send it to your friend who doesn't have an internet connection. That'll help us somehow. I don't know. Dear.
No one is listening to this episode. It's fine.
Absolutely no one. Yeah, so today we basically had some odd jobs to run.
How are you yawning? Like, how? It's the middle of the day.
It's 2 p.m. It's like...
And why is every time I record this podcast you yawn? Like, can you not be a professional for 5 freaking seconds?
Apparently not.
And now you're going to do it again because I'm talking about it.
Yep. Look at the circadian rhythms. Like as human beings, we probably should actually have like a nap in the early afternoon.
Some cultures do.
Mm-hmm. And most cultures are smarter than ours.
But we live under capitalism.
Yeah, stupid capitalism. Anywho. But yeah, so we had a couple of old jobs to do today. Tomorrow the buns need to go in for their second vaccine shot, or one of them does. But yeah.
I also think we're just kind of tired after the last 2 weekends, which is rare for me, but it's the time of year, I think, a little bit. So.
It really is. Like, our body clocks have been shot ever since.
We might go to this weird, like, Victorian ball library, but, like, we're probably not going to do that.
Yeah, that's fair.
When we get back, so we'll see. We might record about that, but again, we decided to keep with weekly upload schedule, do another top 10 list. I will say it's the fall that's the most helter-skelter. Next year we are pretty booked, starting January on, so pretty much second week of January through pretty much everywhere from the beginning of August I can find stuff, so.
Jesus Christ.
There's a couple off weeks here and there.
Yeah, you know how terrified that is for me, right? I only have so many vacation days.
Yeah, we have some sick days.
True. If my boss is listening, you didn't hear that.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine, my boss is not listening to this.
Your boss is also agreed to consider letting you work from home some days.
Yeah.
Not every day, but some days.
Yeah. We have We have begun the conversation. So.
So instead, we decided to do a top 10 list episode, and we wrote down what in theory was a list of 10 things from each of us that wound up being 20 things, and for some sections wound up being 30 things because we're organized like that.
Yep, it's fine.
So, should we start with the negative stuff or the positive stuff?
I mean, if memory serves, it's like top. We've got like 2 positive categories and 1 negative category. So let's compliment sandwich this sucker and do positive, negative, positive. Sound good?
Yes. So, as I mentioned, we already, because frankly, the week of Christmas, there's, nothing going on. There's no way I'm going to be able to find a con the week of Christmas. So, for that episode, we're going to do a top 10, stuff of the year type things. Probably cons, moments, things like that.
Yep.
But we obviously went to cons before we started this podcast, so we decided to do some top 10 moments about cons that happened before the year 2025 and the year 2024/2023/2022. I think that's when we started, around then.
So, again, I came over to the US in 22, so we didn't. We went to a couple of things, but we were still coming out of the pandemic and all of that jazz.
Yeah.
So
we were post-pandemic con goers.
Yes.
So we will begin just with top cons we went to before the year 2025.
Yep.
So some of these will have specific year dates and things, others won't because they kind of mesh together, and some of these are cons you've heard about before on the podcast, others are not because unfortunately a couple of them don't exist anymore.
Yep.
So we'll trade off talking about each of these, I guess, to keep it even.
Yep, but you've got the list in front of you and I can't remember what's on it. So
I can just make you give you a bad con to try to amp up.
See if I remember that it's not on the good list.
You'll remember if it's not on the good list, trust me.
That's fair. Okay, so yeah, do you want to start or shall I?
And we'll obviously talk about them together. But the first con we have, and these are kind of just joint picks, is Cleveland Fan Expo, specifically the first year we went.
Yep, which would have been 23.
Yes, we did go again this year. You can listen to that review if you want. We weren't as thrilled with it this year as we were in years past.
Yeah, one of the things I really loved that Cleveland Fan Expo did that first year was they had a feedback panel.
Yep.
With prominent, high-level staff of the con listening to people, taking their feedback. And again, we didn't have much feedback to give them at that point. I think the thing we went to specifically talk about was Saffron Books.
Yeah, there was a creepy cult vendor thing that was there that was creepy and cult-like.
Yeah. And we basically said to them, yeah, they kind of wigged us out. One of the vendors was kind of a problem, was kind of wigging us out, and they kind of looked at us and said, Saffron Books? We said, yep. Said, yeah, we know. They're not getting let back in next year. And to be fair, they weren't let back in next year. That was about the best that could have been. And generally speaking, I like when a con has a feedback panel. Yeah. They didn't have one this year, and that I find telling.
It really does feel like they become I think corporate cons have their place. I've had that conversation before on the podcast. There are good things that corporate cons can do that other cons can't in terms of the celebrities they can bring in and some of the more interesting events that they can run. But it's becoming more and more of a cash grab, it feels like, a little bit for them. And they had a lot of the heart of it that was there the first year just kind of has gone away a lot.
Yeah, it did not feel like the passion was there this year. Whereas that first year, the vibes of that one were immaculate.
Yeah, we were having a blast the entire weekend.
It was probably our third con, I think.
Yeah.
And it was just it was a really great time. We had a lot of fun. Everybody else seemed to be having a bunch of fun. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so we had one really good con, then we had one pretty bad con, and then Fan Expo was what we needed to get us back in the con space. If that had been a bad con, we probably would have chalked the first one up to being a bit of a fluke. And
yeah, I think that was the first con I experienced con high at, the first real one.
Yeah.
The first con I was mostly just kind of confused and overwhelmed. It was still fun, but I didn't really have the high of going to it yet.
Yeah.
The second con was bad, and it's not on this list, and we're not going to talk about it. It also doesn't exist anymore, so...
Yep, probably because it was kind of bad.
Yeah. But this con was just the first time I really felt like con happy high you feel after that I feel the need to keep chasing ever since. It was also the first time, I talk about this when we get to top con moments of yesteryear, where I wore an outfit and it worked and people wanted to take pictures with me all weekend, and I felt like a celebrity and the fun way, not the creepy way, and it was very cool. So yeah, there was Fan Expo.
That was Fan Expo again. It's been going downhill. I'm hoping they can pull out of the spiral, but
we might not go back next year. I'm going to be honest, because sometimes it is opposite other cons in the area that I might want to review.
Yeah,
like Anna Marathon, which I know Bridget and James go to. I might want to go to that next year if it's opposite the same weekend again.
Yeah, again, we'll figure that out.
So next up is a Catacon. Pretty easy one, easy pick. We just reviewed it, but we did go last year.
Yep, and it was great. Again, it's just a Catacon is just such a lovely, well-run board game convention, or tabletop convention, I should say. You know, like there are a lot of people there who are, you know, closer to our age, whereas board game cons do frequently skew a little older.
Yeah.
And it suits our interests right down into the ground. Like,
it is also worth noting this top 10 list is not in any order, in the order we thought of it, because we don't rank order to that level.
No, this is just like, again.
And also for everything on the list, we only accounted for what happened in the year 2024 or previous.
Yes.
So. And last year was our first time in a Catacon, and I think we mostly went just because we were like, well, we want to run games at Origins, but we want to try at a smaller con first just because Origins is a little bit overwhelming. And that's like the entire reason we went in the first place.
Yep, and we just had an absolute blast of a time.
We did.
And it was a really good con to like get off feet wet for GMing at cons. Because we had really good tables, like the vibes were good, all of that good stuff. So. And again, I can't say nice enough things about the people both who run a Catacon and just the people who attend the Catacon.
Yeah.
Like if you're looking for a really like chill, nice, friendly convention, it's a good one. You got anything more to say?
We just reviewed it, so check out that episode if you want to. It's one of our favorites, and I hope it continues to be as awesome as it is in the future. And this one, I will say, has at least stayed consistently awesome both years. Fan Expo has not stayed consistently awesome.
No.
So next, and again, all between the year 2024, although Origins we've gone to for 3 years now, is the third one on the list.
Would this be Origins then?
Origins.
Yeah.
I said it was the third one on the list.
Did
you not understand the phrasing?
No.
I love you.
I love you too. So, Origins. This is the giant board game con that's in Columbus. It's not the biggest board game con in the world or anything like that. Like, it's only about 20,000-ish people, which compared to Gen Con's 80-ish thousand is a quarter of the size, but like, it's such a good con. Like, again, everybody... Yep. The main disadvantages of Origins is just like their ticketing system's kind of jank. Like, I remember the 2024 one, when you were getting tickets for Origins and they opened the day I graduated.
Yep.
Which meant you turned up late to the ceremony.
I did not turn up late to the ceremony. I turned up exactly on time.
Yeah.
I was supposed to line up 30 minutes early, but I was there on time. We were literally walking out. I was in line.
Yeah. You actually got some praise from the other professors for, like, being the last one to turn up while not being late. And he got us some good tickets.
I did get us some good tickets that year. And Origins, I think, is a symbol of how much we've kind of evolved in terms of our tabletop game experience. Because first year we did a mix of board games and RPGs. I also signed up late the first year, so we missed the sign-up date completely.
Yeah, so
most tabletop events for most tabletop events, they'll have event registration just be a certain time, a certain hour, and anyone who's into RPG games is there at that time period.
Yeah, because the RPGs fill fast.
At that point, it was more just kind of on a whim, so I think just sometime randomly in June in 2023, I'm like, let's go to Origins. And there was still some stuff available that I liked, so it was fine.
Yep.
We had some great experiences there that year.
We did.
And then this year, or the year after that, I actually did schedule and plan it. Had some great experiences that year, too.
Yeah. Among other things, we did you bought some clothes over the internet at that con.
A Great British Bake Off.
Yeah.
We also had the Wednesday game at that one, which was one of my favorites.
Yeah, that was what was it? The Austen family. Which again was somebody decided I'm going to cross Jane Austen with the Addams family.
It worked extremely well.
It was really good game. You were killing it as Wednesday. We had an actual married couple as Gomez and
Morticia, which always is great for Gomez and Morticia. Like, I want us to play Gomez and Morticia if we do another Addams Family game.
So do I. I think we'd be good at it. It's mostly you keep going dibs on Wednesday because you're also really goddamn good at Wednesday.
I am good at Wednesday. The GM complimented me on how good I was at Wednesday.
Yep. Yeah. Again, Origins, it's big, it's ridiculous.
It is. I did have a nasty sinus infection 2024 Origins, but it was still fun.
But again, like that, yeah. It's also one of the few conventions where I actually spend money in the vendors hall.
Mm-hmm.
Like every year, I come away with like new rule books and nonsense like that, which I probably shouldn't do because I never get to use them. But I'm going to run more con games. Dang it!
You will. You pick. Is your mic picking up? Okay, you sound kind of quiet.
Yeah, I think it should be fine.
Okay.
Do you want me to speak up a little?
I mean, I'm having trouble hearing you, but that might just be the roads.
Yeah.
Yeah, Origins is great. Like, we've never had a bad time. It stayed consistently good across all 3 years.
Yeah. Again, like we're not a massive fan of their updated ticketing system, where you get like held in a virtual queue because that's kind of crappy. But well,
the main problem we have with both Origins and Gen Con is just their ticketing systems are effectively winner takes all, which means if you get an early number, you're going to get everything you want, and if you get a late number, you're not going to get anything you want. And that seems kind of unfair than like compromising by giving everyone something that they want, like maybe having a tiered system where everyone gets to sign up for like 3 games the first day and then 3 games the second day and so on and so forth, just so it's a little bit more fair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I realize that's more complicated to do, but what do you think?
Again, I think there will be a certain logic to like everybody gets let in, and they can all buy tickets for like up to 3 games, up to X number of people.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know if tabletop events is set up to allow that.
Yeah. Well, I know that I think a Catacon does that because they effectively allow the people who get VIP badges to get like 1 early ticket, I think. Or maybe that's just an honor system thing because with the Catacon you actually can just use the honor system and it works. So.
Whereas with Origins, no, you can't.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that I distrust the people who go to Origins; it's just there's 20,000 of them.
Yeah. That said, again, I also really hate people who complain about no-shows for games.
Yes. Again, that's not this part of the podcast. We'll talk about that later.
Yes. Okay.
So, next on the list,
CausyCon. 2024 CausyCon.
Yeah. So I can't remember why we went to CausyCon specifically. Like, I remember we had a choice of 3.
Yep.
And I think I picked that one almost at random. Because the other 2 just kind of sounded a bit weird.
One of them had like a problem that year with like a bomb threat, so I'm glad we didn't pick that one. Yeah, this was just what we had about 3 different conventions, all about equidistant apart. It was also the week before graduation, and I think I had my wanderlust, which was like, we haven't been to a con in like 2 weeks, we need to go now.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I went to that one, and we met like a very, like, West Virginia, I will admit, like, there are obviously problems with it in terms of political leaning sometimes, but like, good people in West Virginia are some of the best people I've ever met.
Yeah.
Like, they're just so welcoming.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. And like, CausyCon itself is just, it's a small con, but it's one that really is done with love and passion and care and all of that jazz.
Yeah,
like
and it's in a region of the country that's not otherwise going to get a con like that.
Yeah.
And these are people for whom CausyCon is like the con that they go to that year, and it's great. It's amazing. Everyone's doing a great job. It's run by groups of friends. People see each other and have fun. And that group also runs haunted houses, which isn't our vibe, but like they seem like fantastic haunted houses.
Oh yeah. Again, the only issue with CausyCon that first year was getting stopped by the cops outside of it, who clearly thought it was going to be like some kind of drunken debauchery thing.
Yeah.
With loads of drunk driving, and like they didn't even have alcohol. Like you would have had to bring in your own.
Yeah, that's the only time I've ever actually been stopped at one of those breathalyzer DIY points, and it was coming out of CausyCon, and both of us were just so confused by it because it's like they didn't sell alcohol at the event.
Yeah,
it ends at like 10.
Again, they didn't even bother breathalyzing me. Like again, to be fair, I have this voice. Also, that guy's fuel filler cap is.
That might just be broken.
Yeah. But anyway.
But yeah, they didn't do it this year, so.
Yeah, hopefully that's just because they got absolutely nobody last year, and they're like, well, what was even the point?
I will also say they have a lot of cool local vendors at that one, which I like a lot.
They do. Yeah, I got you a cow flush at one of them.
Yeah, I think it was last year. But you do
been.
have to be very early for bingo. I think that was the main problem we had last year, is we were not early enough for bingo.
Yeah. But, sorry about that. That was on me.
It's just a first-year con and you're learning, but CausyCon is great. I'm already looking forward to going back.
Yeah. Again, it's so wholesomely run.
It is.
Okay, next.
Next, and as a reminder again, not in any particular order, other than the order we thought of them. We have River City / Bourbon City. So this was called River City in 2024. Our 2025 episode on it is called Bourbon City.
Yes.
Because it changed its name and it's also changed its dates and it's changing them again. So I
Yep.
hope it can get a little bit more consistent. That said, it is a
Yes.
fantastic con.
Oh, I love this con to bits. Like, again, it's another one of those small cons that's clearly a very much a passion project for everybody involved, because we went the year before to Cincinnati Steampunk Convention, which sadly closed down due to the people running it not being able to anymore, usual stuff. And so this group that had gone to that decided, well, let's keep the vibe going, and they created River City, which they renamed to Bourbon City. Right? It's the one thing I really love about the steampunk community is there is such passion amongst it.
There's such passion, there's such creativity. It's amazing. And it is one of those things, we've talked about this before, of just like, I really do wish people from different cons could talk to each other more.
Yep.
Because it's just, these are very, just part of the problem is like the demographics are just so different in terms of like age and geographic location, and there really just doesn't need to be that much separation between all these groups.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. Because again, like, steampunk cons do generally skew older, and despite what certain people on the internet may say, that does not mean steampunk cons are dying.
No.
Screw you.
And also, steampunk does address, like, part of what steampunk is historical revisionism. It does address the sexist and racist aspects of Victorian time period. That's what punk means. Punk is literally anti-establishment. It's meant to be critiquing it.
Yep.
It doesn't say that those things are good. It's quite literally alternate timeline.
Yeah, like some authors will just create a universe that's actually fair. Some will create one that's based on actual Victorian history and address it straight on. And that's their choice. You know?
I feel that I've experienced way less sexism at steampunk cons. I can't comment on racism because I am white, but way less sexism at steampunk cons than I have at a lot of other cons.
Yeah.
So.
Again, like, and it's just, steampunkers are a community that just celebrate creativity.
They do.
You know, in
Their
a way
cosplay contests are fantastic because it's just a bunch of people who like glued gears to their backs in the best possible way.
Yep.
Like what I want cosplay contests to be a lot of the time.
Like 2/3 of what you're going to see in a steampunk convention is going to be an OC, and the other third are, oh yeah, this is a character I really like, and I made them steampunk somehow. Like last year, we saw 2 steampunk Beetlejuices.
You need 3 though.
Yeah, this is true.
You really do need 3.
Yeah. So yeah.
It was fantastic. I'm already looking forward to going back. They did switch the dates again this year, so...
It's in May this time now, isn't it?
But one of the cons that was in May last year is now in March, so it's just... This stuff's moving around. It's fine.
We'll figure it out.
Alright, next is the Eyeball. Which is another one we recently reviewed.
Yep.
And I realize some of these stretch the limits of cons, but, you know, fun events count, so...
Yep. So, so the Eyeball was, again, something we found kind of randomly.
Yeah, on Eventbrite. They sent us a very lovely message from our last podcast we did about them, though, which was very sweet. The Lions Club is an amazing organization. And I think for me, it's just, I'm always going to remember this as the week before our wedding. This was like a thing we did at random. And just being with a group of strangers a week before we got married, is just, there's just something special about that. And I really don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah, like they were so wholesome and friendly and welcoming. Like, we've been to plenty of events where they theoretically invite outsiders, but they don't actually want outsiders there.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, like, they were very, very happy we came, and they've been very happy that we keep coming back.
Yeah, and I hope they do continue this. But yeah. I just, if they are still listening to this podcast somehow, I really do want them to know that, like, you know, that having that be the, like, kind of last kind of event thing we did before our wedding, just for whatever reason, was so special to us. And, like, it made me really happy and ready to get married.
Yep. So thanks for that. She wasn't too sure beforehand.
I was... Stop being a dick. You're crying, so it's fine.
Uh-huh. So, yeah. So, again, relatively straightforward event, you know, but a good one.
Yes. Next we have Mystics and Marvels, which we also reviewed for relatively recently.
Yep.
This one is one that I think was a bit weird this year, but the previous years before it, we loved it. So it's kind of a low-key event to go to.
Yeah, like low-key, a lot of good photo opportunities. We got some good photos of the past few years of us in costume. And just, again, really, really fun. And like, it's also one of those events where if you're taking cool photos together, you'll almost certainly get somebody who's willing to be a photographer for you. Just there you go, click, 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 click. There's your phone back. Like,
it says something. This is like the one event we go to where we do take consistently photos, which we're otherwise very bad at taking.
Yeah, we suck at it.
But it's low key. The lighting, for whatever reason, is great. Are you actually still crying?
Tiny bit.
Okay.
I think that's irritation in the contact lens rather than anything else.
And it's definitely just fun to kind of go around, spend an hour. It's one of the best, because we have gone to other oddities fairs. I've never liked any of the other oddities fairs as much as I've liked Mystics and Marvels.
Yeah, that's pretty much the
like it feels like an actual oddities fair that is done organically. That has, and I'm saying this word with love, it has freaks at it, but people who are self-identifying as freaks and choosing to be freaks.
Yes. Yeah, like we're not using freak in the P.T. Barnum sense.
No. It is people who would be in P.T. Barnum's, museum, but they are choosing to be there of their own free will and wandering around and calling themselves that and making their own money off it rather than giving it to some, sexist, racist, venture capitalist jerk. So.
Pretty much.
That's different.
So yeah, and again, we just like this a lot. It's not the most, intense thing we do, but it's always a good time.
Okay, next we have, I suppose, controversially now, OhioCon/OhioCon. Please don't yell at us about the pronunciation of it or mentioning it.
Yep. So yeah, we went to this for the first time in 23.
Yep.
And we had a blast, because this was our first ever con.
It was. And most of what we did at the con was just walk around the hallway, because this is where we fell in love with the Columbus Convention Center and saw a bunch of people in really cool outfits.
Yep.
And we went to a couple panels, and we were totally enamored with it. Also, OhioCon at that time period had so much programming on that, you could just walk into any room and have an amazing experience.
Yeah, they had a lot of panels going on. That was where we saw Toothless the puppy the first time.
Yep. And that's where we first understood, we went to a cosplay contest and, had no idea that skits were, a thing for Masquerade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were very confused by that.
And now they're not again, but that's a deeper problem.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, there were some bad things, I remember lining up for the cosplay contest, and that's sucking.
Yeah, I will say that, Missouri, Teco, and SakaiCon, which were all started and then snidged by the same people, all seem to have problems with, making people line up unnecessarily.
Mm-hmm.
They all have that, and I think that says something about their, management styles and how they've all kind of grown from each other.
As you can. We'll talk about that more later, but...
Are we talking about that more later?
It's on the list.
Is it?
Clearing rooms is.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's just a problem we have with all three of them. When I say they're started by the same people, I mean that some people from OhioCon splintered off to start SakaiCon and MissouriCon, and we pretty deliberately on this podcast aren't talking about the drama, because there's just no way we win if we can.
Yeah, we are not a drama podcast.
We're not a drama podcast. People have gotten, threats over even just talking about it before, so just...
We're not touching that with a barge
We just don't want to.
Again, we went for the first time in 2023. That was before any of the drama.
Yep. So just please leave us alone. It's not our responsibility to report on that.
Correct. So, yeah.
So next is Anthro, Ohio.
So this was our first ever FurryCon. This was in, 24?
Yes. And we went to this because we saw it on a poster.
Yep, we were at a convention the week before.
Mm-hmm.
That was at the same location, specifically the Crown Plaza in Columbus. And we sort of went, well, we've never been to a FurryCon. We know this hotel reasonably well.
Yeah, and at this point, we had gone to enough cons where I was just like, well, I'm just not going to go to furry cons because, I don't like furry stuff. And then I think about this moment where I was having the realization of, wait, that's not fair of me. I don't really care about anime or sci-fi or pretty much any of the other stuff we do. I just go because I like the people, so why should I judge the furries?
Pretty much.
And that was a bias I had, and I'm glad I've gotten rid of it.
Yep. So we went to Anthro, Ohio. They had some problems that first year, mostly just they'd outgrown their venue.
Yep.
Like, badly. They handled it as best they could, but, like, again, another con with a feedback panel, and they basically said, yep, we know we've outgrown the venue, we're already, like, looking for a new space, and the space next year was bigger.
Yeah.
Good call.
And we had an absolute blast. Like, I was surprised by how much fun I had at this.
Yeah.
And thankfully, like, we're, like, I think at this point in our con going history, we understood my disability well enough, and we understood, like, how cons work well enough to kind of manage crowds and go to different rooms and how to, like, make sure you could get in and get seats that were accessible for me.
Yes.
It said Anthrocon, or Anthro Ohio. Anthrocon is next on the list, because of course we put those back to back. Anthro Ohio still, I think, is having a little bit of accessibility problems compared to most furry cons, and that's more just other furry cons have accessibility that's like a 10 out of 10, and they have an accessibility that's like a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
But I know they are working on it.
Yes.
And the main reason I know they're working on it is because I know they listen to this podcast and they're like taking our feedback.
Yeah,
they're awesome. So
yeah. The one thing I do want to say is this is the con where we first met Iggy.
Yep.
We should mention our friend Iggy is still in need of a kidney.
Yes.
Last we heard. So
yeah, we heard some, I think, positive news in September, but we haven't heard anything since then. And we did know this was the time period where it was going to start getting a bit more dicey. So
yeah.
I don't know if you've heard anything since then.
Just another post that some people have been having difficulty, like, not hearing back after they filled in the initial form.
Yep.
So yeah, iggyland.org.
Yes, iggyland.org.
Yep.
Make sure you check it out. I'm already planning the cons for next year. MCFC is one that's in February next year, and like, if he's not there, which I think might be likely at this point, I'm going to be very sad. So, because that's his home con too, because he's a Michiganer. So I hope that he's there. And if he can't make it, I would love to. If he's somehow listening to this, I would love to visit him at least. So
yeah, love to know, how he's doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So if you are potentially interested in the donation of a kidney, iggyland.org. Okay. So yeah, where were we?
Anthrocon. Wake up, Anthrocon.
Why the heck's this line so long?
That's our song about Anthrocon that we made up.
Yep. For the record, the normal version doesn't use the word heck.
Yep. So Anthrocon is technically the biggest furry convention. We'll see if they hold the record.
Yeah, I get the impression that Anthrocon and, like, some other cons somewhere are kind of vying for the top spot in terms of number of attendees.
Well, I know Anthrocon had problems. So 2024 was our first year at Anthrocon, which is the year we'll be talking about, I guess, for this podcast. And they were definitely dealing with crowd control problems that year.
Quite bad ones, yeah. Which, to be fair, were better this year.
They were better. They did have other problems with, like, the fursuit parade drama, but as somebody who does not fursuit in, like, interacts with the furry community through cons, there's, like, some controversies that I just feel like we're not, like, the best people to, like, have opinions about.
Yeah, we're just not qualified to talk about it.
Again, poodling is not something I have enough of an opinion on to, like, say anything about.
Yeah, and again, not a drama podcast.
Yeah. But I do think that's one of the questions you're going to have with crowd control is how do you handle it. I think they're still dealing with a couple of those questions. That said, the fact that they're talking about dealing with them, I think at least shows that they're trying to find some compromises.
Yes.
And the compromises they had this year might not necessarily be the compromises they have in future years. But it is definitely worth going. Just as a pure experience, it is.
It's a lot, but
it's pure carnival fun, though.
It is. Like, it's a really fun vibe. And again, like, the only major issue we had that first year was there were a couple of, like, safety concerns regarding the overcrowding.
Yeah, there were definitely a few. I will say disability access lines both last year and this year worked well.
They did.
It was just there were some times where they were piling more people into rooms in fursuits and sitting them on the ground, and, like, that's a major fire hazard.
Yeah.
Like, one, they're in fursuits. Two, it takes them, like, at least 5 minutes to get up.
Yeah, there's a reason why Uncle Cargo's story time was in main events this year, rather than the smaller ballroom it was in last year, because last year it got goddamn dangerous.
Yeah. But they did listen to feedback on that, and they did cap tickets this year. So.
Yes.
And keep in mind, we did go to other furry events this year that we also really liked, and the reason why they're not in this list is just, frankly, we're only talking about 2024 or prior. Yep. So MCFC, IFC, WAPAFWA, like, those are all things that we
did this year,
so they might end up on our top 10 list for the end of the year.
Yeah.
So I know we've got some furry listeners out there. So.
We do. So yeah. What was the next one?
Techo.
Techo. So Tekko's an interesting one to go on our like best con list because prior to this year, we'd only ever done it once, and as a 1 day.
Yes, and since then we've done Tekko and their smaller version of it, the Sengawa project, both of which I think we plan to go back to in 2020 or 2026.
Yes. So yeah, so Tekko specifically is a very large con.
Yeah, it was one of the earliest cons we wound up going to because we went in 2023 and then we skipped 2024 because it was opposite Animate that year because for whatever reason, like there were just 6 cons that one weekend this year. And they've all since broken up where they are, thank God.
Yeah.
And honestly, at this point, I would pick Tekko over Animate quite easily.
Yeah, so would I. Like, it's more expensive and it's further, but like,
it's just a better con.
Yeah. And when I say more expensive, that's mostly an us problem because Pittsburgh, we can do Pittsburgh as back and forth.
It's just hard if you want to do any late night stuff.
Yeah. Which means we probably need to get an Airbnb. Whereas, like anything at the Columbus Convention Center, I don't care if I'm driving back at midnight.
Although, again, GalaxyCon tickets this year with taxes and fees are $300 by themselves. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, I don't want to go. I feel obligated to go, but I just don't want to for those prices. It's eye-watering.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I don't get any benefit over the celebrities because I don't care about seeing them.
Yep. And yeah, for the record, you mean $300 for
both of our tickets, but that's still ridiculous.
Yeah, that is kind of nonsense.
It's like twice as much as what we pay for most other cons.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, like I'd say about 30% markup, because generally around $200 for the more expensive cons is normally what we wind up paying.
Yes. And again, granted, if we have to get an Airbnb, that adds more money. But like, yeah, $300 for 2 tickets is kind of nonsense.
Yeah. So Tekko does not charge that much for tickets.
No, Tekko does not. But the main reason we had such a good time at Tekko was that was our first experience of a well-run cosplay masquerade, and I mean really well-run.
Yeah, we had a blast doing it. We didn't win anything. We didn't care. We had a lot of fun. People were cheering on, and then people complimented us after, and the vibes were great, and the vibes have continued to be great. And I just had to put it on the list because it's so good.
Yeah, I agree. Like, again, the main issue was just the cosplay contest, or the masquerade took up so much of our day, we didn't really get to do much else.
Yeah, we went to a couple panels and we wandered around the convention center and people complimented us and it was a lot of fun though. So.
Yeah.
So after this is an interesting one, Dokido Winterfest.
Ah, yes, Doki. So, Dokido Con normally takes place in what? Somewhere in the summer? Somewhere
in the summer. The reason we didn't go that year is it was the same week as Tekko and Animate.
Yeah.
So 2024 it was the same. I think 2025 it was also the same. And like, while I do really love Dokido, it's hard to like.
It's a 7-hour drive.
It's not 7 hours. It's like 6.
It is.
Okay, fine. It's on the wrong side of Michigan.
Yep.
So Dokido Winterfest was just something we were looking at because I wanted to do a New Year's Eve type thing.
Yep.
This year I think we're doing furry stuff for New Year's Eve. So.
Yep. So this would have been 23 going into 24, wouldn't it?
Yep.
So yeah, by happenstance that year, New Year's Eve / day fell over a weekend.
Yeah.
So Dokido Con decided, screw it, we're going to do an extra con this year that's purely New Year's set over New Year. It'll be an excuse to get everybody together for a big New Year's bash and have fun.
Yeah.
And we did. It was great.
Yeah, it was great. Everyone was just like this was the most just people are kind of hanging out at a con.
Yeah.
Most of the panels are just people hanging out. We played board games with people. We did improv with people. Everyone was just having a blast all weekend.
A lot of fun. The vibes were just really, really good. At one point we were just kind of hanging out in a room together with microphones because the host didn't show up.
And we're just asking each other trivia questions and coming off stuff like Animate or GalaxyCon where there's we can't hand strangers microphones. What if they say racist stuff? It's nice to just be at a con where you're kind of just trusted as people.
Yep.
And this is the thing is I honestly do think that if you trust people at cons, largely people will live up to your expectations. Yes, you're occasionally going to get some assholes or something like that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, everyone at the con is experienced at shutting those people down.
Yeah.
I've had those moments with cosplay where somebody says something mean to me and then 6 other people told them to step off.
Yep.
Just let people kind of police themselves. It normally works out well.
Mostly it works out fine. Occasionally you do need more than that. Again, the nonsense that happened at TwitchCon this year wasn't great, but
that wasn't great. But that was a problem with security generally, and that was a moment with somebody touching a celebrity,
yeah,
which is different than just giving somebody a microphone.
Yes,
And it is just one of those things where I don't want to let those highly public, like, bad moments outweigh all the good that can be done just by trusting people. Because I don't know. We'll probably talk about this when we get to like stuff we don't like about cons, but cons do attract people who are identify as neurodivergent, which is absolutely cool and fair. But I find there's this tendency within some of the people who are running, particularly more corporate cons, to like be terrified of neurodivergence as a concept, and that's how it reads to me a lot.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, these people won't know what to say, so we're not going to trust them with a microphone.
Yep.
Like when they complimented me that one time for knowing how to play the game Family Feud.
Yes.
I'm like, I volunteered to be on stage. I wasn't going to like shout out Hitler for the answer to like, what are things you buy in the vendor's hall? I'm not that stupid. Don't think about how you could buy Hitler in a vendor's hall.
Yeah, I'm not touching that one.
Yeah, this was super cute. I definitely I think there need to be more New Year's cons because I think that's a great idea. It's a perfect time for a celebration.
Yep.
And I want to see more of that. Next up is SubasaCon.
Yeah, Tsubasa is very much a fun little con, which we went to pretty much because we knew Grego's game shows was going to be there.
Yep, we did them at Con Alt Delete, which is not on this list. That is also one we went to previously.
Yep.
The main reason that one's not on this list is just it's in Chicago.
Yeah, the con itself was fine.
The con itself is good. It's just
kind of BS.
It's very similar to Tsubasa and other, I think, cons of around that size in terms of vibes, but it has the negative of being in Chicago, and I don't want to be in Chicago.
Yeah.
And it's not because I don't like cities. It's just, as a person with a disability, like major cities, New York and Chicago are the main ones. It's just, for a lot of accessibility things, they're just not possible to get around very easily.
Yeah.
They just kind of suck, and it's kind of hard to get anywhere. And also, Airbnb didn't have, like, heating, and it was December.
Yeah.
I mean, it had heating, but you had to, like, text the person to turn it on.
Yeah.
And then turn it up higher, and then it would turn it up, like, 1 degree.
Yep. Because we were freezing our collective whatever's off.
Yeah. But TsubasaCon is great. We love Gary Go's game shows there, and like it's another one that's kind of West Virginia-esque and a lot of like fun people there. It's a great venue for the space. You can run in and out of rooms as much as you like. It's how to do a smaller anime con.
Absolutely. Yeah, they also do a pretty good ball.
Mm-hmm.
Dancing with You to Ra Ra Rasputin.
Yep, I love their formal balls. After that, we've got anime, I think just kind of / GalaxyCon. We debated putting this one on the list because we've had pretty good experiences there. We've also had pretty bad experiences there.
Again, the first year doing anime was kind of nice because we
up until the last.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Because there was just no one there and they had a budget, so it was fun.
Yep.
And then
we spent most of the weekend hanging out with the wrestling group.
Well, like, this is the thing, is like we've gone to anime twice, and I think, or anime 3 times now, GalaxyCon once. We couldn't go last year because we were in the UK. Mm-hmm. Well, we were supposed to be in the UK.
Yeah, we were supposed to fly out the Saturday of GalaxyCon last year. Yeah, we didn't actually manage to fly out that day because our flight got messed over. Yeah. So we didn't actually leave until Tuesday. So we could have gone to GalaxyCon.
Yeah. One of my problems, though, is just because we've gone to anime 3 times and GalaxyCon once, and they're all very similar. My memories of like what happened at what event kind of just run together.
Yep.
Like I think the Wrestlers was 2014, not 2013, but
2024, not 2023.
I have number dyslexia.
Sorry.
You know what I mean.
I know.
2023 anyway. Hanging out with the Wrestlers was fun. You can definitely have fun at Animate.
You absolutely can. Like again,
and it is cheaper than GalaxyCon, which is a major plus for us.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Again, especially if if you're less interested in the celebrity side of it, like they have like voice actors and the usual kind of like collection of people who go to anime cons, but like they're drawing a smaller pool for that.
Well,
than
it's just
Galaxy.
Like our interest at cons, and I think it's pretty apparent on this podcast right now, is mostly just to kind of like hang out with people and do dumb things.
Yep.
Like I want to play Pictionary with the wrestlers. That's what I want to do at a con.
Pictionary with the wrestlers is always great,
Pictionary with the wrestlers is amazing.
They have the worst easel in the world.
Yep. Yeah, I think that was the first time we went there. I was in Persephone, and they picked me to like be on stage because at that point they just let them pick random people, and they kept calling me Dame.
Yep.
It was great.
It was great.
And then they kept making sexual like remarks in like a fun, comfortable way.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, the person I was playing against was a 10-year-old child, and I'm just like, you might need to tone that down.
Tone it back.
And he's just like, well, the kid's already on his way. It's fine.
Again, the kid is not understanding the innuendo, so you're getting away with it, but
yeah.
Guys.
They were very fun, though, and they're always a great group. We love them.
And again, like when we say that, we do mean it was innuendo. Like it was stuff that was going over the kid's head without any problems.
But yeah, I will say Animate this year did seem a little bit weaker than the previous years. Not as much of a downgrade as Fan Expo was this year, but I'm interested to see if that continues for GalaxyCon and if it's going to be worth paying $300. Why are we going to this?
Technically, we haven't bought tickets yet.
I know, we should have bought them when they were like 20% off, but that's still like $250, so yeah.
Yeah. Again, I was almost working that weekend.
Yeah, your boss wanted you to work Saturdays. I'm glad we renegotiated that.
Yep.
So next is Marcon, R.I.P. Marcon.
R.I.P. Marcon. Again, we loved Marcon to bits. Marcon was a small sci-fi convention.
And this is the thing: is there's an unfortunate, I think, lack of sci-fi conventions in particular right now. Like part of the problem is the Sci-Fi Network. I don't think has the best management, and they haven't really been as successful at handing things off to the younger generation.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of sad to see. The Starbase Indy, I think, has the advantage of Starbase Indy, which is next on this list, and what we're going to next week, has the advantage of they have a grant from the National Humanities Foundation, so they can stay afloat basically without making money, I think.
Pretty close to it.
Yeah. Whereas Marcon doesn't have that advantage.
Yeah. And again, like, we really liked Marcon, but
so Marcon is a small sci-fi convention that was in the aforementioned Crown Royal Plaza. It was in the Columbus Convention Center the previous year.
Yeah.
And it had, I think, less than 200 people, so
it couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
We've heard that there might have been some kind of financial mismanagement, but like, anytime a con closes down, that's always what the rumor mill says, so I don't know to what degree that's
realistically,
accurate.
I know what number, like, their numbers were small, like close to 200 people or below. And a lot of those were working for the con or were people who were volunteering. So that's hard to sustain. It just is.
Yeah, like we paneled at it the second year that we went, and we got free badges as a result. And like, of the attendees, I think close to a third of them were paneling in some capacity.
Yeah.
Because they really like discussion panels, which isn't a thing you see as much at cons.
Yeah, they have this like a lot of cons don't do this. I actually don't mind it as a strategy where people like pitch panel ideas and then people sign up to do those panels.
Yeah.
Which is how Marcon has done it, which is, I think, the older model of doing it. The newer model is you just pitch a panel and then you get to run the panel. Yeah.
Yeah, but so like, we did a panel on audio production. We did... I
did ethics, I think, and fiction.
Yeah, there was a panel on good and evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you were like, I'm a professional ethicist. That sounds good for me to do.
Well, like, it was cool because I was like talking with some fiction authors and we were having fun.
Yeah. And there was one person next to you who was just like, oh, wow. I just started taking notes anytime you talked.
Like, she was having a blast.
Yeah.
And yeah, the panels were small and there was some room bleed there, but it's such a nice group. And like, I think this is the problem is we just haven't really found that like lively sci-fi convention yet.
Yeah.
And like, I get sci-fi is not going to be a big genre at the moment, but I think if we can have a big steampunk con, like similar to Bourbon City or Key City, which are sustainable. They're small, but they're sustainable.
Oh, yeah.
I think we could also probably have a sci-fi convention that's like that.
I would agree. And again, I don't know what the solution is in that regard, but like, I mean, at least in part, I think we haven't got any good new sci-fi shows for a while, at least in part because they're all going the prestige TV route, which means you get like 10 episodes every 5 years, which makes it harder to build up that like loving fan base the way you do with some of the older stuff.
It's partly that, and I think it's personally like, you know, the part of sci-fi that attracts the sci-fi nerds is not the capitalistic part. Like, the people who just like, you know, the Star Trek movie or the Star Wars movies, whichever ones you like, we're not getting into that debate. They're just going to go to the bigger cons and like get an autograph from like, I think Hayden Christian, the guy who played
Hayden Christian.
Yeah, that person.
Yeah. Was
at GalaxyCon last year. And people who just like the Star Wars prequels are just going to go there to get his autograph. They're not going to go to a small sci-fi con to talk about sci-fi.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that people like that aren't fans. It's just they're not the type of fans that would go to a sci-fi convention.
Yeah. Whereas I absolutely am. And I'm sad I don't get to go to more of them.
And you're going to one next week.
Yay!
Speaking of which, next on this list is Starbase Indy, which will be our next review next week.
Yep. And again, we've been to Starbase Indy 2 years on the row now. This is the first year we're doing all 3 days, I believe. Because Starbase Indy is always just after Thanksgiving.
And generally, we're seeing my family for Thanksgiving, which we are maybe still doing this year.
Who knows?
We tried to use it as an excuse to get it. Like every year, we say we're going to use Starbase Indy as an excuse to get it out of Thanksgiving, then we just wind up doing both. So
true, but
again,
this
is a Star Trek convention. Like,
it is.
It is the most pure Star Trek convention I have ever seen, and I kind of love it for that.
Yeah.
Like, it is Star Trek. It is about sci-fi and education, and the way that sci-fi can be used to generate like positive educational values in the world, which is ultimately Star Trek's message at its base.
Yeah, like I get half of the people who are paneling at Starbase Indy have PhDs.
Yep.
Several of them have worked as scientific consultants on the show in some capacity.
Yes. There's multiple people who've been at NASA there, multiple PhDs there, multiple like award-winning writers there. Like, it's a small but very like prestigious group.
It is. Like, we're really honored that they wanted to like have our panels as well. Because last year you did bioethics in Star Trek. You were focused on TNG. This year we're going to spice it up. We're focusing on DS9 and their bioethics.
Yep.
And I'm doing an actually style quiz, which I've written. I can't. There's at least one question that I think is too mean, but you told me to leave in.
It's a Star Trek quiz, and it's a Star Trek question at a Star Trek convention.
This is true.
People are going to know the answer to it.
Probably. We'll see.
So yeah, hopefully it's as much fun this year as it always is.
Yep.
It's definitely a more low-key convention. There's a little bit less on, but it's fun.
It is. Like, it's very, it's a very chill convention in that regard. Also, there's a wedding this year.
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to have to be careful about what ball gowns I bring.
Yes, because you want to make sure, standard rule when you're attending a wedding. You need to look good, you need to be on theme, you need to not overshadow the bride. That's going to be the thing you need to avoid this weekend.
Yeah, I know, but there's so many good stuff I want to wear. Maybe I'll just like change up for the hour she's getting married. Like, I'm not going to look like a bride. I'm not going to wear anything white.
True, but at the same time, we don't know if she's wearing white. Because again, like, this is just a couple who decided they wanted to get married at this convention because they met at this convention.
Yeah. Again, if you get married at a convention, I do feel like you have to be aware of the fact that other people might be wearing very elaborate outfits.
Yeah, that's fair.
And she's probably wearing like the Worf wedding dress or something like that.
Yeah, if they're doing that, wait, how do you know about that?
Because they wore it somebody wore it last year.
Oh, yeah.
Or the year before, I can't remember which.
Yeah. Yeah, the Worf and Jadzia are wedding outfits.
Yes. Also, I am a casual Star Trek fan. I have seen a decent chunk of Next Gen, a little bit of Deep Space Nine, and a few episodes here and there of other series. I'm not as much of a fan as you, but I do know about it at least a little bit, okay?
Yeah. Again, Worf gets married to Jadzia in DS9. I wasn't aware you'd seen that much DS9.
I've seen some, and part of the thing is, like, the one thing I would know about Star Trek, and virtue of the fact that we go to cons, as somebody who costumes, is the costuming.
This is fair.
So I know several of the most elaborate dresses that are up, including the princess who appears in the latest episode of... Is it Endeavor or whatever they're on now? What's the new one?
Strange New Worlds?
Yeah, Strange New Worlds. There's a very sparkly princess dress that a princess-like figure wears on that I kind of want. But
again,
also,
I'm a season behind on Strange New Worlds because I have not had the chance to watch it yet.
Fair. So next we have Pigalarp.
Yep. Does this count as a con? Who knows?
We want to talk about it though.
Yep.
Pittsburgh Squealers.
Yep. Piglarp. It's exactly what it goddamn sounds like.
Well, sort of. We're the NPCs. The pigs are the people playing.
Yes. So this was a pig rescue.
Yep.
That to raise money was doing an event called Piglarp.
Which was inspired by Goat LARP, which is a goat rescue doing a similar thing.
Yep.
And then they posted some stuff on YouTube and it went viral and the Pittsburgh Squealers were like, let's do Piglarp.
Yep.
Which we did, which was actually incredibly well run and very elaborate. Like, we were there, like, this is something for which, like, you're playing with pigs. You wouldn't expect to be there for as long. We were there for like 6 hours.
Yep.
Because they had, like, pigs you could play with, which we did for a while, and we walked around the farm. Then there was a murder mystery, like, element to it that we did.
Where the pigs were nominally helping.
Yep.
Nominally.
They kept running into us and asking for food.
Yep.
And one of the pigs was the one who committed the murder, obviously.
Yep. Again, it was a very well put together little event. It was really, really cute and sweet.
Yep.
Like, if they did it again, we'd probably go back. Yeah. I don't think they've done it again.
They've not done it again. They tend to do more like yoga or like outdoor, like, I'm going to say barbecue in terms of it's grilled. They're very big about all their food being vegetarian for obvious reasons, but outdoor grilling event with like vegetarian stuff at it.
Yeah.
So. And they rescued a ton of pigs, and a couple of pigs got adopted that day.
They
so.
did. It was very cute, very sweet.
And they did have just a full-on warthog there.
Yep. It was just kind of running around in the back doing his thing.
Yeah. Well, apparently we didn't, because I was dressed in, because we were trying to figure it out, because a couple of the pigs were kind of freaked out, and apparently I was wearing, because I was in costume, although it was a costume I could get muddy, because I'm not that much of a fool.
Yeah, you were not wearing a full-length ball gown.
Yeah, but I was wearing antlers.
Yes.
And some of the pigs were afraid of the antlers.
Yeah.
It was kind of great.
It was kind of cute.
And they had to put some of the pigs in the front yard because they thought people might wear capes, which you were wearing.
I was wearing a cape, and they commented, yeah, the ones over there, we're not going to let you in with them because they are the ones that will eat your costumes.
Yep. Because, yeah, they were like, yeah, we did a costume photo shoot with them earlier this year, and we discovered that some of them like to chew on capes, so we put all the ones that like to chew on capes over there.
Again, just it was a very fun, very silly, very well-run thing.
Yeah, this was a great animal rescue, so. So next is another non-con event, the Capitol Bowl, which we didn't go to this year because we're at Sagawa Project. We did go the 2 previous years.
Yes. So this event is pretty simple. It is a dance, but it's held at the state capitol of Ohio in Columbus, as in the state capitol building. And it's just a fun, old-timey kind of, Civil War coded event. And again, fortunately, Ohio, I believe, was on the correct side of the Civil War.
Yes, it is, and the pins and everything are blue to be celebrating the Union in the Civil War. They do make it very clear that it is Union Civil War, not Confederacy, which I do appreciate.
Yep, we are not supporting the side that condones slavery.
No, it's very clear that it is a pro-Union, fighting slavery type event, and there are African-American people who attend it,
yes.
so...
But again, sometimes it's just fun to being in a room full of people, dancing.
Yeah. And all of the dances are the silly types of dances where they explain to you how to do them. So
yep.
It's just very fun. It's a great way to get out the energy. It's about 2 hours long. It's ridiculous. It's relatively well priced. I think it's $10 per ticket. Then you have to pay I think $15 for parking or something like that.
I think it was $10 for parking.
Yeah, so it's about $30 total for a lot of fun. So.
Yeah. And again, it's an excuse to wear some fun costumes. And
you do also get to go into the Capitol when no one else is there. And most Capitol buildings, the Ohio Capitol building is quite beautiful.
Yeah. It's a very, very spectacular building.
Yeah, and you can walk around it, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So not too much to say about that as an event, but it's a fun thing to do.
It's a fun event. It also spans age ranges. A lot of homeschool kids go. I think both the conservative homeschools kids and the also crunchy mom homeschool kids are both there. Both of which are kind of the same homeschool kids, if we're being honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's adults of different ages. There's some people who are I think history buffs who are wearing military uniform and stuff like that. Again, all Union, no conservative stuff.
Yeah.
I do think they would. Yeah, I do think they would ban you if you tried to fly a Confederate flag.
I'm pretty sure they would. Yeah. So yeah, again, fun little event. Nothing too fancy.
Yeah, and I think it's meant to celebrate a lot of the history of Ohio and stuff like that.
Yes.
Ohio, again, is a Union state, which is why I don't understand people in the state of Ohio who fly Confederate flags, because you weren't in the Confederacy.
You're flying the wrong flag, guys.
Yeah. And Ohio was one of the states that people escaped to, because it was the borderland for getting over to freedom, essentially.
Yeah.
Which doesn't mean that all people who lived in Ohio were good, but, it is part of that history, and I think this is a fair way to honor it that is not fetishizing the Confederacy. So next we have Cincy Steampunk.
Yep. Which again, this was our first ever Steampunk Con. Among other things, this is where we first saw Asgard and Lady Wheels.
Yes.
And that costume just blew us goddamn away.
Yeah. They're a great member of the steampunk community. This is another con that doesn't exist. I don't think there's much drama here beyond the fact that the person who was running it just couldn't run it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was an illness thing or age thing or what.
And it's been somewhat replaced by Bourbon City / River City. Because that started around the time that this ended, because this, I think, ended in 2023.
Yeah.
River City started in 2024. They are in different cities, but cities that are relatively close to each other.
Yes.
Being Louisville and Cincinnati. So.
Yes. And again, just, it was a really nice, wholesome convention to go to. We saw tea dueling for the first time. There was a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. Teapot racing, things like that. I think we just went to this one for one day that year.
We did.
but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. It was also when it was the first time wearing the Phantom and Christine outfits.
Yeah.
And the zip on your dress popped a seam because it was, I'm going to say, it was brand new in the sense that you'd just acquired it. But that is a 50-year-old dress.
Yeah.
And it just, like, it kind of gave up the ghost. And, like, they were very, very helpful with, like, okay, we don't have the stuff required to stitch it back up. Here's a bunch of safety pins to keep you together, while you're here. You'll be fine.
Yep.
And, like, that was super helpful of them.
Yeah. And this was, I think, our first steampunk con, and we fell in love with the steampunk community, obviously.
We did. Yeah, the steampunk community is just full of really awesome people.
So next we have Surprise, which is, did you think of any cons we didn't mention for number 20? I thought of one.
Go for it then.
OMG Con.
Okay.
Because we didn't go to that one this year because it was opposite Origins. But I do want to shout it out as like a very fun con.
Yeah, that's fair. So yeah, OMG Con, smaller convention in, where the heck was it?
Somewhere also, so I think it's in Kentucky. I'll look it up.
Yeah. Which again, fun little convention, good vibes, good people, quite nice convention space. Only downside it had the year we went was that there was a music festival outside on the Saturday, which the convention themselves, to be fair, was not happy about.
Yep. They were very, and it's in Owensboro, Kentucky.
Owensboro, thank you.
And keep in mind, with some of these states, they are in more conservative areas, even though obviously the people who tend to attend these cons are very least quite pro-trans,
Yep.
And I get how that could be kind of an unsafe experience, and they weren't happy about that. They couldn't control it. We were also wearing Phantom and Christine for that one, and people thought we were getting married because they were very drunk.
They were extremely drunk.
And I will say, getting through that crowd with how drunk and kind of reckless they were. If I had been by myself as a woman, I would have felt a bit uncomfortable with.
Yeah.
I was with you, so I felt okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't great.
It could have been better. Like, the con handled it the best they possibly could have.
Yeah, they didn't let anyone without a badge inside, which meant you could just use inside as a refuge.
Yeah.
Which the main version or advantage of that was there was a long line outside for the porta potties that we passed. So I'm glad they didn't let people in to use the bathroom, because that would have.
Yeah, that would have led to a lot of cross contamination between that group and the con. And they handled it as well as they possibly could, and I do want to shout them out for that.
Yeah. And I had a lot of fun with them.
Yeah. So did I.
Do you have any other cons you want to shout out?
I think those are kind of the big ones we went to before 2025.
There's a couple others like Colossal, but I think Colossal we definitely had more fun at this year and stuff like that. So we'll talk about those for our top 10 list at the end of the year extravaganza thing we'll do Christmas week.
Yes. So, let's get on to the negative part of this.
Top con pet peeves.
Yeah.
This isn't really limited to 2020, 4 or below, but I just included it in the section because the thing is, people love top 10 negative list explicitly more so than they like top 10 positive list.
Yep.
So this is a list of 20-ish things we don't like at cons. And
Yep.
I say ish because we'll probably think of more.
Probably.
Yep.
So, where do we want to start?
So, number 1, clearing rooms.
Yep.
Again, in no particular order.
No particular order. This is something that will take a pretty good con and make it a why do we come to this con?
Yes.
Looking at you, Matsuri.
Or just any other cons. I think Anime Crossroads did that too.
Fan
another one
Expo
we
was
did.
also doing it.
And that's another one we didn't mention. It did not make our top 10 list.
Nope.
Or our top con list, now that we have one.
Yep.
Anyway. Yeah, it's not great for disabilities. It bogs stuff down. It means that stuff effectively takes longer to get started, so stuff starts late. It's not fair to people who are in the rooms generally most of the time. And just generally, if you have problems with too many people being in rooms, that's a sign that you need more programming.
Yep.
But don't punish the people who are paid to be there.
So yeah, again, anytime a con clears rooms and makes everybody leave.
Yeah. The one time there are 2 times when it's basically acceptable. One is if you actually legitimately do need to do setup that involves rearranging the chairs in the audience.
Yes. If you're rejiggering the furniture in the audience, fair enough.
Yes. Or if you need to set up music wiring at the front of the room. But
Yeah.
if it's just you need to put a PowerPoint on stage, that's not an excuse.
Yeah, no.
And the other time it makes sense is if you need to check IDs, but ideally you should just have somebody in the room checking IDs of the people who want to stay there.
Yes. Yeah, which again, if the previous panel wasn't 18 plus and the one that's about to start is, I get it, but generally the easiest way to do that is 20 minutes before, stick somebody outside to start checking IDs.
Yeah.
and then when the switchover happens, be like, okay, everybody's in this room who wants to stay. I'm going to need to see an ID.
Yeah. And I will say that it is very tricky with ID laws because they do vary a lot between state and non-state in terms of like what is showing sexual content to minors, because some states have incredibly strict laws about that.
Yep.
And I do get that, but at the same time, obviously, flirting with a minor or doing anything sexual with a minor if you're an adult is absolutely not okay at
Correct.
any time. But if a kid is in a room where you're talking about stuff that's vaguely sexy, at a certain point, I feel like that's kind of on the responsibility of the parent and the kid.
Yeah. Like, again, if it's a shipping panel that gets a little out of hand,
Yeah.
I feel like that's more on the parent to go, maybe this isn't appropriate for my child.
And I will say, if you are a parent or a person who's under 18, like, I know it sucks to be under 18. I was under 18 once, but like, if something is plus 18, stay out of it. Just do. Like, you're going to get yourself in trouble, and you're going to get a lot of other people in trouble if you're at it. So,
yeah, you are going to get other people in a lot worse trouble.
So yeah, just, I know it sucks, but try to just kind of stick to pre-18 topics in public spaces until you're 18.
Yep.
That wasn't too much of a hot take, was it?
No, that was pretty reasonable. Like, again, I firmly believe there needs to be a much better quality of sex education in this country. I don't think Cons should be the one providing that.
Well, this is a part of the problem is, like, you do need to be able to talk to minors in at least a scientific way about this type of stuff. And minors should be allowed to talk to other minors about this type of stuff. But there's a lot of ways adults and minors can't talk about this kind of stuff. And that just makes it all
kind of a mess.
Yeah, kind of a mess, and also very hard to do sex education.
Yeah.
Okay, next, this one's very big for me, is autism jokes.
Yes. So, as we've mentioned, Cons do have a higher than typical percentage of people who identify as neuroatypical.
Yes.
Now, that's absolutely fine. I am very glad there is a space for those people. With that said, I am so sick of conventions with people making autism jokes either about... When people are making them about themselves, okay, fair enough. It's a little bit tired at this point. I've heard it before, but fair enough. When you're making them about other people in the room, unless it's a close friend who you know you're comfortable doing that with, I wouldn't.
Yeah, it's also for me, like, think about it like other types, or I think you do have to think about like other types of, social minority status. Like, if you're making a joke about you being a woman, that is okay in some contexts, but keep in mind if you're saying like, I'm so ditzy because I'm a woman, that even if you like don't mind being ditzy, other women in the room might be upset about you saying that.
Yep.
And that's similar to how a lot of autism jokes tend to work, as a lot of people tend to joke about their own autism, but they do it in a way that like seems to generalize to other people in the room, and that's just not really great for like awareness.
Yeah, especially given that like autism really is like a lot of different things that have all been categorized together.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I don't find autism to be a very useful spectrum. I know it's a spectrum now, but at this point, it's so many different things that I just find the term to be almost completely useless in terms of actually labeling anyone as anything.
Yep.
So if it's a useful identity for you to have, and if you're being careful with that identity, obviously that's great, but just keep in mind that like not everyone in the room has the same experience with it as you, and I just don't like jokes about it.
Again, generally speaking, autism these days is about as useful a term as neurospicy.
Yeah.
Like, they mean about the same thing.
And even that, I still think is too vague a term to even like say anything about, so it's just, I don't know. I have issues with it. So 3 is yippee.
Yeah, so this is a thing that we started noticing like a year and a half ago.
It's died down a bit, thank God.
Thankfully. But yeah, people just loudly going, yippee. I can't even do it.
You can get the octave range. I can't. I'm not going to.
Yeah. Just like this high-pitched yippee noise, which usually sets off, about half a dozen other people to start doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And 1, it's really goddamn annoying.
2, like, some people think like this is something about like, stimming and stuff like that, which I do get, but also keep in mind that a lot of people who are neurospicy have sensory issues related to noise, and having people scream this over and over again is going to like trigger them.
Yeah, it's not great. So yeah, like don't do that. Like, yep. I know where it came from, but at the same time, like, it's not great, guys. Like, just don't.
Or if you're gonna do it once and then just stop. If it's like, we've been in rooms where it's going on for like 15 minutes while people are waiting, and it's painful.
Yeah. So yeah, don't do that. Next.
Switchback lines, particularly the tape that they have on the ground.
Yeah, so again, switchback lines, there's a logic to them. But anytime you do a switchback line and it's only like fenced in by tape on the ground, congratulations, you're creating like just a lot of problems and probably a fire hazard.
Fire hazard, it doesn't work for anyone in cosplay. I've seen plenty of them. Keep in mind, I'm in a ball gun. I can't fit in those lines. Like,
Yep.
I just functionally can't because they didn't actually bother to put enough space in between it, and they didn't actually like because it's not measured in terms of human bodies. They generally tend to make the lines very, very small.
Yep.
And it's like you're crammed in like sardines in a certain area on the floor. It's just dumb.
Yep. Which, you know, again, for anybody with claustrophobia, it's a real bad idea.
Yep.
You know, which again kind of goes back to the room clearing thing of just don't.
Generally, lines at cons need to be avoided whenever possible. I get that it's not always possible.
Yeah, like there's pretty much always going to be a reg line because, yeah, fair enough, but like lines to get in and out of rooms shouldn't exist generally.
Yeah. And again, you're probably going to need lines to meet celebrities. That's fine.
Yeah. Like anything that requires like a one-on-one interaction between two individuals, like walking up and getting your tickets, going up to a celebrity, that stuff needs lines.
Yeah.
If we're talking panel rooms, no.
Yep.
Panel rooms should never have lines outside. A line outside a panel room is a sign that you've organized your con badly.
Yeah. Next, and related to this, is no accessibility information on the website or not having any ADA access whatsoever. We've seen this at a lot of cons.
We've seen this a bunch.
Like at smaller cons, I will admit, for my disabilities, and I think a lot of other disabilities, it can just kind of be handled on a case-by-case basis, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you're Marcon sized, generally you can just talk to somebody.
Yeah. Whereas if you're GalaxyCon size, you need to have like procedures and protocols.
Well, this is something I'm noticing with, like, I think some of the bigger cons are adopting the Disney model of just hoping that if you have a disability, you're just going to pay for VIP tickets to cut or skip lines as opposed to having an ADA line.
Yeah.
Which is
bad.
It's bad, and I want to point out, particularly with cons, and I've talked about this before, the stuff I want to access isn't even the popular stuff. Like, all I need to do is be able to get in and out of rooms accessibly.
Yep.
And to be able to do that, sometimes I do need access, but I'm not wanting to access stuff that's incredibly popular. Like we saw that at Fan Expo where we had to clear a room, walk around, and then go back and sit in the seats that we were sitting in beforehand.
Yep.
Like I wasn't taking those seats for anyone. We were late to get back into the panel. They had already started talking.
Yep.
But I couldn't have that particular access because it wasn't there, even though I wasn't taking those seats away from anyone else.
Yep.
And they weren't VIP ticket seats.
So yeah, like it's mostly just a case of some cons try. Like when we were at IFC, this year, like they had good ADA stuff.
Yeah,
like,
generally the free cons for the most part are trying.
Yeah. And again, not all of them are there yet, but they are working on it and improving. And again, like I'm very much of the school of thought of as long as you are better than you were last year, that's okay.
Yep.
You don't have to be perfect. I just want to know that you are making the effort. And that's where most of the fur cons are at the moment, which is fair. Like, I do not need you to be perfect right now. Like, again, even down to Anthro Ohio was better this year than it was last year for that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
So similar to this is no information on the website and need to look at a Discord or separate server to get announcements.
Yeah.
This is something the smaller cons, I will say, are a lot more guilty of. For ADA stuff, it's definitely the bigger cons who ironically need it. For the smaller cons who actually need announcements, they generally have like private Discord servers. You have to go with like 6 links to do that.
Yep. Which is very annoying.
Like, for example, the Furry Ball we're thinking about going to, I was like looking at joining their Discord or Telegram today. Or the other day.
Yep.
They require you to, in addition, like, say where you're from. They ask you if you're in the same state, which I don't know what that's about. And then they ask for a link to your social media. And I'm like, I understand your want to keep people safe, but at the same time, if you're going to put all the major announcements in here, I have to do like 6 steps to even get here. And I don't even have public social media.
Yep.
Like, I just don't. Like, I don't know what I could send you.
You can send them this.
I guess.
Technically, like I don't have accounts of social media in that regard.
Yeah, I don't know what they want because like all of my social media is set to private because I'm a college professor.
Yep. I have a Blue Sky where I've posted like 4 things.
Yep. No one is going to listen to this episode. It's so long and rambling.
Exactly. It's fun. Next.
Wristbands for 3-day events because people like to take showers.
Yeah, like, here's the thing. If you're just doing basic paper wristbands and it's a 1-day event, or they've, like, one of the things that we see that's relatively common is, oh, you're here for all weekend, here's a badge. Oh, you're just here for Saturday, here's a wristband.
That's fine.
Fine. Not a problem with that. When a con just does wristbands for a 3-day ticket, if it's the like bulkier plastic ones that can take some wear, okay, fair enough. If it's the basic paper ones, congratulations, you've prevented everybody from showering for the next 3 days.
Yeah. I know you can sometimes like slip it off your hand and stuff like that, but then you run the risk of it tearing, and it's just like, it's all, you can't even wash your hands well with those things on.
Yep. So yeah, like that's there has to be a better option than like wristbands.
There's got to
on
be a
3
better
days.
way. Subscribe now for a Patreon product. The wrist, it's just, I'm picturing just like, one of those like, ankle monitors or something like that for prisons.
Yeah.
It allows you to keep track of all your attendees. If they say something even mildly racist, you can give them an electric shock.
We might need to make this product. Not seriously, but at the very least we might need to make like a parody advert for it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, next.
No role-playing at role-playing games. We talked about this a little bit last weekend.
Yeah, like, again, if you're playing an RPG, like, I get that some people don't really want to roleplay, but come on.
Like, at least come to the table with the expectation that other people want to roleplay and don't actively stop them.
Yeah. To be fair, that's only really happened to us once.
Sort of.
Kind of.
Anyway.
But yeah.
We've already talked about this one a lot, I think, last couple weeks, so we'll move on.
We'll move on.
No food or no outside food or beverages with it actually being enforced.
Yes.
There are plenty of times when it's not actually enforced.
Yeah,
like the majority of the time, I will say it's not actually enforced.
Yeah, like OMG Con.
Yeah.
Like, the venue has signs up saying no outside food or drink. Nobody's checking.
Yep.
Because again, like, you have specific dietary requirements, and
Yep.
like your preferred caffeine source is one that's not commonly available.
Mm-mm.
Like, it's common enough that like we can get it in 6-packs at Walmart without any problems.
Yeah.
But most like standard selections of
It's just, if
soft
you have
drinks
any type
don't
of,
have it.
this is the frustrating thing. If you have any type of dietary disability, like for most dietary disabilities, it's actually not something as simple as like not eating gluten or anything like that. You have only certain foods that work.
Yep.
No one understands why those foods work.
Yep.
It's just something that happens. You can't explain why that particular thing works, and that's because it's so weird. People are just think you're lying or whatever, and you're not, and it's really frustrating. It's like, no, I can't have anything with sugar in it. I have to have diet beverages. The diet beverages you have in here, you don't have anything I can drink, so I don't have a source of caffeine, which I do actually need to keep my body running. It's frustrating.
Yeah.
Like, it just is.
Yeah.
Because, like, I shouldn't have to bring a doctor's note to get outside food or drink, and two, because it's so sui generis, it's frustrating. It's just very frustrating.
Yeah, like I Cincinnati Comic Con.
Yeah.
Last year before.
Yeah, this is keep in mind a couple of cons we're complaining to. There's a reason we have not come back to them.
Yep. Yeah. So massive security line. They were doing bag checks. Like
they made you throw out a bottle of water.
Yep. They made me throw out a bottle of water,
which it said on the website was allowed.
Yep. They told me I could refill it once I got inside.
There were no places to refill it. You can maybe refill it in the bathroom sink,
yeah,
but I'm not even sure if that is drinkable water.
Yeah, bathroom sink would be the only place I could have refilled it. Like, that was just bad.
Yeah.
There's a reason we did not go back to that con.
Related to that, and related to Cincy in particular, security theater, particularly any type of metal detector, because Jesus Christ, that does not make sense at a con.
Yeah, so security, generally speaking, most cons will just have, doors are open, you go in and out, like, maybe there's somebody checking whether you've got a badge, that kind of thing.
Yeah, most will have prop checks. Prop checks are fine.
Prop checks are fine. Like, I do not have a problem with them having somebody to check if you've got a badge. I don't have a problem with prop check, because they're basically just having a quick look at your prop to make sure it's safe. Like, you've got a sword, okay.
Let's make sure it's dull blade or not metal.
Dull blade, made of foam, like, you turn up to a con with a sharp, they're going to tell you no, and that's the right call.
Well, I also appreciate that they don't allow, like, as somebody who, like, like a lot of Americans, I have a lot of fear of guns generally. Like, you do have to make sure your guns are orange tipped.
Yep.
And if they're not orange tipped, they don't allow them, and that honestly is a lot more comforting for me.
Yeah, so that you can tell that they are not, in fact, real firearms.
Yes.
Again, it's the same way that, like, I've handled sharp swords in the past. They are very fun, but I would not wear one to a con for the simple reason that it's going to make everybody else uncomfortable if they realize what it is. Like, do I want to be able to wear a blunt LARP sword to a con? Yeah, maybe. Like, I would be okay with bringing, like my Mesa to a con, because that is blunted, it's relatively safe. But again, if a con said, no, that's more than I'm comfortable with, okay, fair enough.
Yeah. But security theater is generally when they're just inspecting absolutely everyone to come in, waving them with wands, going through security lines. And part of the problem with metal detectors is cons. Most cosplays have some metal on them. Quite a few do.
Your hoop skirts use spring steel.
Yeah, that triggered.
Which sometimes, not always, but sometimes sets off metal detectors.
Yeah. And it's just, it bogs everything down. It's not needed. And like, also, like, even if like somebody was sneaking everything in, like, it'd be easy enough to do it because they can't actually inspect all these costumes anyway because all of them set it off.
Yep.
Like, it's not the freaking airport where everyone's just wearing like the thing that they think is least going to set off the metal detector.
Yeah. And the other issue that I have with this generally is just, it always feels, anytime we're in one of those situations, like it's not designed to keep you safe. It's designed to keep you in the con spending money.
Yeah. Somebody recommended it in this Colossal Con server Discord for Prime next year and was like, please, for the love of God, Prime would be horrible with that.
Yeah, no.
Like, Prime has way too many people. Like, that would just cause complete chaos.
Yeah, Prime already has too many people. There's already like 10 different entrances in and out of Prime, which there needs to be. Like, trying to put metal detectors up? No, congratulations, you're just causing
And also,
a massive
what do you
problem.
expect that to stop or do? Because it clearly didn't do anything this year without it.
Yeah. Like, again, as far as I'm aware, there weren't any, like, major incidents that required that kind of problem. Now, maybe they just did a good job of keeping them quiet, who knows, but...
So next we have nepotism or friends-only cons.
Yeah.
These tend to be smaller.
Yeah.
But not always. Sometimes if you're talking about the cosplay scene, there's still a lot of nepotism there.
Yep. So this is where people want to hang out with their friends. That's fine. So they have a con for it. Great. And then they get real, like, they don't actually want other people coming to the event, but they want the money from it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, basically. Or they want the money from it, or they just wanted it to be an exclusive event. And we've seen this before. Like, we've occasionally gone to a photo shoot where it was clearly like they didn't want anyone else there but their friends, despite the fact that they're hosting a public photo shoot.
Yep.
Or just cons that don't allow other people to like be at your events. We've been to a lot of those, including one right after I had surgery.
Yeah, that was a problem.
Yeah. So yeah, it's that exclusivity, and we've had a lot of cons, I would say, more than average that are the opposite of this.
Yes, generally speaking, most people who are into a thing really want to meet other people who are into that thing. Like the steampunkers want to talk to you about steampunk. The sci-fi fans want to talk to you about sci-fi. The furries want to talk to you about furry stuff. Like, generally speaking, most of these groups are very welcoming. Mm-hmm. It's just every so often you get the gatekeepers or the people who kind of don't really want you there. And it's like, well, why were you selling tickets then?
Yeah. So next is my hill, which is just a hill I want to die on, which is over-focus on getting people to drink water. I hate this. This is one of those things that I believe that, I'm not going to say there's a big water conspiracy theory. I just want to point out that, like, historically, no one has ever actually died from dehydration. Being dehydrated is like being hungry. It's not actually that bad. You can just get more to drink. Like, yes, overheating can be a problem, and water can help with that. But if you are overheating, getting water is just one of the several things you should be doing.
Yes.
Like, if you are in a fursuit and you are overheating, water will help, but you also need to get out of the fursuit.
Yes. Or get to a cool room.
Yes.
But again,
drinking water itself is just something, if you are thirsty, drink water. You don't need to overhydrate yourself and be going to the bathroom every 15 minutes. It just drives me crazy how often people like insist that dehydration is this major problem when no one has ever died of dehydration, ever. There's not been one documented case where somebody had access to water and died specifically of dehydration.
Thank you. The clarification on that was if they had access to water.
Yes. And I do think Cons should put free water up everywhere. I do think that benefits everyone.
Absolutely.
And they should have it. But also don't force people to like drink water. Sorry. I get annoyed by the overfocus of drinking water. I think it just relates to this overfocus I found like with some of my old friends groups and stuff like that on the fact that like they seem convinced that other people can't take care of themselves. I, for the most part, believe that A, people can take care of themselves, and B, we should trust them to take care of themselves.
Yes.
Because as a person with a disability, that assumption is so annoying.
Yep.
So the next one is your pet peeve.
Okay.
Which is overfocus on alcohol.
Yes. So kind of the swing in the other direction. It's perfectly fine if your con involves alcohol. It's perfectly fine if drinking is like a thing you expect people to do. Don't constantly talk about the drinking at your convention as though everybody there is going to want to do that. Like, I enjoy a good drink. I barely drunk anything alcoholic in the past year, probably more than that, purely because you can't drink.
Yep.
And I only drink socially.
Yeah, and we generally are driving because we're staying off site.
Yeah.
Like a couple cons I think we've been to now, we have talked about staying on site so we could drink, or at least a little bit more.
Yep.
But it's something for which there are going to be people staying off site who aren't drinking. And like again, not all events are family events.
Yeah. No, I'm not asking all events to be absolutely family friendly. It's mostly just I don't need you cracking jokes about how much booze is available every 5 minutes just because your con is plus 18 and you're allowed to drink. Or plus 21. Why is America's drinking age so dumb?
Part of it's to keep it out of high schools, and part of it's just like different states had different laws, and that led to a bunch of people dying at state borders. So then they just made a federal law, and they figured it was easier to make the federal law a higher age than it was a lower age, because if you made it a lower age, that was going to cause mass chaos. So, I mean, smoking is also 21 now, so
that's probably for the best.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, like, if you enjoy a drink, great. You don't need to make it your entire personality at a con.
Yeah. People joking about spending too much money in the vendor's hall.
Oh,
so,
Jesus. Okay.
This needs a caveat. If you were making this joke about yourself, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
You can joke about spending your own money if you want. That's fine.
Like, I will happily comment on like how much money I spent in the Gen Con vendors hall buying like dice and rule books and that kind of stuff. Like,
sometimes I make jokes about how much money I spend on dresses, but those are us, and we know our finances.
Yes.
And we also know we're not actually in debt.
Yes. The one that really irks me, and it tends to be the large corporate cons that are guilty of this, is when the people presenting on stage start making the "so who's spent too much money in the vendors hall" jokes.
Yeah.
It's like stop trying to shame those of us who haven't spent large amounts of money in the vendors hall into spending money in the vendors hall.
Yeah.
I will spend the money I want to spend, and I trust the attendees to do likewise.
Well, yeah, it's not a joke you would make. You don't joke to somebody else about them spending too much money. That's not funny.
Yeah.
You can make fun of yourself spending too much money on stuff, but you would never joke about somebody else spending too much money on stuff. That's just rude.
Like, again, I'm pretty sure we did hear one of the people on stage make a comment about if you can still afford rent, then you've still got money to spend in the hall. And it was just like,
that's not okay.
Yeah, that's really not.
And like some people, they go to one big con a year and they splurge and they want to go to the vendors hall. That's absolutely fine and okay.
Yeah. And there are people like us who go to a lot of different cons. Like, most vendors halls are kind of samey. Like,
yeah, sometimes we'll buy a plush or something.
Yeah. Like, again, there's a reason why the two that I've spent the most money in recently were Gen Con and Origins, because big vendors halls, lots of stuff, and it was like specific stuff I was interested in. It was all like board games and RPG stuff and that kind of stuff.
I think the one I spent most money at was Key City, just because that was a like artisanal steampunk coat. And like if you are buying artisanal goods, that's fine. Yeah. I don't want a bunch of like Temu imported anime stuff, which is what most anime cons sell.
Yep. Yeah, like your whimsy coat was. Again, it says something that your whimsy coat, you tried it on. The person who was running that stall is the person who made it. She looked at it and went, okay, that fits you pretty well. I can make it fit better.
Yeah, that was tailored to me.
Yeah. And like the tailoring wasn't complex. She basically added some additional buttons so it would tighten more across the chest. But like she wanted to make sure it was perfect for you, and that's great.
Yeah.
Whereas the vibe of go back and spend more of your money, peasants, is the thing that I'm specifically referring to with this one.
So next we have main event scheduling, particularly scheduling one event and then nothing else being on the same time as that event, which A, overcrowds the main events room at most cons,
Yep.
and B, gives you nothing else to do if you are not interested in that one thing.
Yep.
And a lot of cons are guilty with this of all sizes.
Yes. Again, this tends to, it's more of a problem usually for the smaller cons who just have less programming generally, and with them I kind of understand it. If you're the size of something like Anthrocon and you're putting like a main event and nothing against it, yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, I do think this is one issue I do have with furry cons is like the fursuit parade and the fursuit dance party is a very minor issue with furry cons, I want to emphasize.
Yeah.
It's just they seem to think that like if there's a fursuit parade or a fursuit dance party, everyone's going to want to do this, when a lot of furries aren't fursuiters.
Yep.
And if you're not a fursuiter, one, you can't really participate in those events, which is fine, and you might also not be interested in watching for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Like the appeal of anthropomorphic animals isn't just fursuits.
Yes.
So people who aren't interested in fursuits also like might want something cool to do during those time periods.
Yep.
Like I get the thinking is that well everyone's going to want to do this, so let's just have this one thing on so somebody's not forced to run an event with like 3 people in it. But I don't, at a con Anthrocon size, I really don't think that's going to be the case.
No, it's really not.
Like we saw a decent chunk of people at Anthrocon because there was nothing opposite the fursuit parade this year.
Yeah.
Which I think might have just been in part that it's impossible to get from one end of the convention center to the other when that's going on.
Yeah.
So not on them.
It's an issue.
But even so, it would be nice to have 1 or 2 events on during that time period because not everyone's going to want to watch the fursuit parade. So.
I know multiple people who just went, well, guess it's time to go get lunch because, the fursuit parade's on, there's nothing else on for the next, 2 hours. So, yeah, again, it's okay. Don't get me wrong, being scheduled opposite a main event can suck sometimes. Like, the panel I'm running this weekend for Starbase Indie is scheduled right across from the cosplay contest. Now, granted, cosplay contest is nowhere near as big a draw at Anthro.
And I honestly don't think these events are gonna attract very different subsets of people.
Yeah.
So I do think they're good picks to be off.
Yes.
But yeah, I get it. And also keep in mind, because sometimes for bigger cons, this will be like the main voice actor Q&A. There's nothing else on at the time period. And the problem with that is that's just going to draw a bunch of people who weren't otherwise interested in the main voice actor Q&A or actor Q&A, like having to sit, like just going there and taking up seats that they otherwise wouldn't be if you had put literally anything else at this time period.
Yep. We've had that happen before at bigger cons as well, because they assume everybody's going to want to meet the big voice actor, and half the time we don't care.
And I want to emphasize these aren't ranked, but some of these are smaller, like Old Man Yells at Cloud issues. Like this is an Old Man Yells at Cloud issue. Like jokes about autism are a lot more serious. It's not really that big a deal.
That's fair. Next.
Scheduling 2 similar events. Another one that's not really that big a deal, but should be avoided if possible.
Yeah.
Where it's just like if you have 2 trivia panels, you don't want to put them at the same time block because people might want to go to both of them.
Yeah. Like that's basically it. Like, I get it. Sometimes it's unavoidable. Like, there are going to be plenty of times at a con where you're like, I really want to do this event, but I also really want to do this event and do it at the same time. That's going to happen. But, like, if you've only got 2 trivia panels the entire weekend and you put them at the same time as each other, really?
Yeah.
Really? Because that just splits the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, that's a pretty minor one, but...
Yeah, and I get that it's not panelists' responsibility to have their own scheduling, but it's minor. No schedule is going to be catered to any one specific individual, but having things not be on at the same time, I think is good.
Yes.
Stuff not opening on time.
Yeah. This is more, like, this one annoys me, but it really, like, irks you. So do you want to take it?
It's mostly just related to disability. I can't wait in lines. Some of that's physiological, some of that's psychological, and it gets hard for me. And like one of the things your brain obviously does is like, okay, I only have to make it this far. I only have to make it this far. I'm in pain, but I only have to make it this far. Yep. And then if you don't miss your opening time slot, that's psychologically really difficult for somebody who has a disability.
Yep.
And it's just kind of hanging on for as long as they possibly can.
Yep.
So that's the main thing with it. Again, I get that sometimes it's unavoidable. Sometimes it definitely is avoidable. Techo this year, it was definitely avoidable.
Oh, yeah, that.
Yeah. They did at least let us wait inside, and they had an access line. But
yes, but the fact that we still ended up standing around for like 15 minutes, in fact, it was close to 20, wasn't it? Waiting for them to actually start registering people. Yeah, not great, guys, not great.
yeah, Deco's a great con, and I do think they will take that feedback seriously.
Yes, I believe they will.
Some events I get not starting on time and stuff like that, but like sometimes it's not worth it. I think another one was the Superman lookalike contest at Fan Expo.
Jesus Christ, yeah, that started so late.
They wanted to do one joke where they got the people who played Superman in various roles to like show up on stage for like a minute,
Yep.
and then had them immediately leave.
Because they basically had, what was it, 3 different Superman actors there?
Yeah, they had Tom Wellington,
Tom Welling, Tyler, however you pronounce his surname, the guy from Lois and Clark, and did they have one more?
I think they did.
Might have been Brandon Routh.
Yep.
But yeah, they wanted them up on stage with the like Superman, the people competing in the Clark Kent lookalike competition. To like take a picture with them. And it's like, okay, cute, but you ended up delaying the entire panel by like 15, 20 minutes to do that. And that was not good, guys.
It wasn't. Like, I do think it probably was worth it for the couple people on stage who like shook their hands and stuff like that because they were dressed up as different Superman. That was cute.
Yeah, like I could tell how happy the guy who dressed up in a really like good version of Tom Welling's Clark Kent was so happy to like shake Tom Welling's hand. That was really cute. But like, you kind of messed over the rest of us for that.
Yeah, and if they had stayed and like judged the Superman competition, sure, but they were like, nah, go back to the vendors hall, like go get more autographs.
Yep, sell more stuff.
Sell things. And then they had to have, like, they had a bunch of security around it because they obviously didn't walk through like the normal doors, and there was some back entrance stuff I'm sure they had to do for their safety, which fine. If you want to do that, but like prepare in advance.
Again, I've heard stories from somebody who used to work at New York Comic Con where like maneuvering the celebrities is actually really hard because again they do need to keep them out of the public eye. And the particular story was it was the first year, it was before the new series of Lost in Space came out. The celebrity that she was responsible for was the kid who played the young Will Robinson, who apparently was just really excited to be there and kept wanting to go out on his skateboard just around the thing, and constantly wrangling that kid was apparently a lot of work.
Yeah, well, it is fun to watch, particularly, I think, at both Fan Expo and GalaxyCon, how much their staff try to wrangle the celebrities and how much the celebrities was like, nah, just let me do whatever.
Yeah, the story we heard this year about Jensen Ackles getting handed a bottle of whiskey, being told by the staff he wasn't allowed to drink any of it, and he was like, no, I'll just take a picture with him. And then proceeding to chug part of it.
Yep.
Like, that feels on point.
Or Oliver and James Phelps hijacking their own interview because the questions they had pre-prepared to ask them were so bad.
They actively like pulled people up from the audience, just to make the panel vaguely interesting.
Yep.
Like they were trying super hard, and the con itself was getting in their way.
Well, this is the thing, is they pre-prepared the questions presumably to avoid this problem and asked them way worse questions than it would have been if the audience just asked them actual questions.
Yep, including asking the same question twice, but in slightly different wording.
Yeah. It was very confusing.
Yeah.
So next we have people asking if I made my cosplay.
Yeah. So, as anybody who listens to this podcast knows, neither of us can sew worth a damn.
I'm trying to learn.
What we can do is come up with, or what you can do, is come up with cool concepts and put them together. Yeah. And in some cases that means, like, buying a cool dress and accessorizing it. Sometimes that means doing, things like the candy skirt, where we spent Yad knows how many hours, gluing rhinestones to things.
Well, it's like, I don't know what you mean by made in a certain context. Like, no, I didn't sew it, but I, like, figured out how to put hoops underneath it and, like, get it on my body correctly, wear a wig that works, makeup that works. Like, the outfit or ensemble, I generally design and create and envision and imagine. Like, it takes a tremendous amount of creativity, time, and effort. No, I didn't sew it, but I just, it's a question I really just don't know how to answer in a way that's fair. And when I do say no, no one knows how to respond.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody made an outfit, they will tell you that they've made it.
Yeah. Stop asking.
Yeah. Instead of asking that, just say it looks cool, or ask them what they like about it, or something like that. Like,
or why they wanted to wear it. Like,
yeah.
What was the inspiration? That's always a great question.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. What's your favorite part of the outfit? Or, oh, that's so cool. What character is that? Like, all of those are way better questions.
Yeah. Even something as simple as, oh, that's really cool. Why did you want to wear it? Was it just because it's cool, or was there like some logic behind it, or what? Like, these are all good questions you can ask. Did you make it? Is not.
Yeah, that's really the thing that I want to start training people on. Is just like, it really makes it feel like you don't belong in cosplay sometimes if you didn't like hand sew everything.
Which is kind of the problem with the cosplay community generally. Like, it's a little bit cliquey.
Yeah. Like, finding cool stuff is hard.
Yep.
Believe me, it is. Like, you would not be able to find half the stuff that I find.
Oh, God, no.
Or design it, or, like, make it so that it's wearable in the same way that it is.
And again, like, granted, I have the advantage of being a guy. Like, most of my costumes are pretty simple and straightforward. But, yeah. Were there many more peeves?
Yes, I'm not done with the list yet.
Okay.
There's still 2 more.
Cool.
Overpriced parking. This one's pretty straightforward. It's not on the con.
Yeah, but
yeah.
If I'm paying more than $15 a day for parking, your parking is BS.
Yeah, and that's not the fault of the con. The con doesn't set the parking prices. And finally, pictures without consent.
Yes, this is interestingly. This one happens sometimes by a con and mostly by like individuals. Like, here's the thing: if you ask somebody if you can take a picture of their costume, there's a pretty good chance they're going to say yes.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't ask and just like take a picture of them, kind of a dick move.
Yep.
Now, with that said, if they're like walking across stage at a cosplay contest and you take a picture, fine. They assume people are going to do that.
If somebody's posing for a photo op or something like that, love pictures, that's fine.
Yeah. But again, this also goes out to con staff. Like, I appreciate that technically every time we buy con tickets, we agree to let you take our photo to use in your marketing. I know you sneak that into the purchase agreement. Just goddamn ask first.
Yeah.
Like, it's not hard. We will say yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Also, like, don't touch cosplayers, obviously, without consent, stuff like that. I will say, like, if you're a small child and are overexcited, that's fine.
Yeah. You've had small children run up and hug you before.
Yeah, that stuff like that happens. It's okay. I get that, like, kids in a public space, like, your parents are tired, you're walking, you're lugging 6 bags, and sometimes the little ones get away from you. I get that it happens occasionally. It's okay.
Especially when they see a princess.
Yeah. It's honestly just cute. So,
yeah. If
you're an adult man, no.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Do you want to move on to, because we have an hour left to, get through other stuff.
Yeah. This episode's going great.
It's great. So these are just top con moments that are not from the year 2025. We will do a separate one that's 2025 stuff.
Yes.
Where we will actually prepare a list in advance and actually have top 10 moments that we will play off each other on.
Yes.
That'll be a little more preparable. Okay. So I'm going to put these in kind of random order because you put all the RPG ones at the front.
Yeah, purely because, again, I thought of, like, a bunch of good RPG stuff together because, again, my brain just connected them.
Yeah. I start with a very basic one. Wearing Persephone, the full version of Persephone, when I finally got the hoop skirt. This is what I mean when I say that just because you didn't fully make a cosplay doesn't mean you're not going through iterations to get it right.
Yes.
I'd gone through several iterations of it. I just added the hoop and the headpiece and was putting it together. And it was my first time there, and it was Fan Expo, and I felt like a princess.
Yeah, like
it was just magic.
I remember like how many compliments you got, and like it was great. Like, I was really concerned about the hoop skirt. Like, I thought it was going to make it really difficult to maneuver and a bunch of other stuff, and it worked.
It did. And we've not looked back on hoop skirts.
Nope. Hoop skirts at cons. They're great.
So another one that I think is joint, meeting Bridget and James / pop culture choreography and Wetlands Ninja.
Yep.
So, like, we have become, I think, closer friends with them this year, which is awesome. I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing them again in GalaxyCon. It's honestly the part of GalaxyCon I'm most looking forward to.
Yep. Worth spending $300 for.
Yeah.
But no, like, again, it was really nice just to, like, meet another couple who were, like, also slightly crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I remember a lovely moment when you and Bridget were talking, James and I were getting food, and we both realized we both married crazy but brilliant women. And it was just like, yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
Yeah. And there was another moment where we were like talking about how late we were going to stay. I'm like, you said we could stay as late as I wanted tonight. And Bridget was laughing because she always says the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of nice to meet that con couple craziness that we have. So
yeah. Like, yeah, they're great people. We love seeing them at various conventions.
Yeah, hoping to see them at GalaxyCon again. And they I think another one of my favorite moments was just I forget which con it was. We were like hanging out for I think the second time we were both in masquerades together back when we still did them more consistently, and we found out like I remember us talking about it beforehand. But we found out officially that we got married 1 week, or they got married 1 week after we did.
Yep, they got married 6 days after we did. Yep. We did a Sunday wedding, they did the Saturday wedding the next week.
Yep.
That was kind of adorable.
Yep. So we'll help them remember their anniversary probably every year.
Yep.
Not that they would forget.
No. But yeah, so again, like just that was lovely. It was nice to make friends. Geese.
Hong Kong. I'm not going to say MF. Let's just go with MF.
MF.
Okay. Now I'll switch to one of the RPG ones, Scooby Dread.
Scooby Dread. Okay, so Scooby Dread is possibly the best role-playing experience we've ever had. Dread, if you're not familiar with it, is a tabletop RPG where the only mechanic is a Jenga tower. Every time you need to do something dangerous, you pull a block. So the further through the game you go, the riskier stuff gets. It's primarily intended for horror. And Scooby-Doo Dread was exactly what it sounds like. It was a 4-person group, plus the guy running it, who was Michael for a Catacon. Each of whom took one of the classic Scooby-Doo characters, and the basic principle is Scooby died. And, Mystery Inc. kind of fell apart after that, and you're getting back together after X amount of time to, see if you can finally solve what happened to him.
Yep.
And just, it was one of those rare, perfect games where, everybody understood the assignment, everybody got the character they were playing. Actually, I'm not going to say that.
Yeah,
that's a spoiler,
honestly, you should experience this game for yourself.
If you have the opportunity to play Scooby-Doo, goddamn play it.
It was the perfect mix of characterization and horror, and I don't typically like horror games, but this was the right amount for me. Great GM, just fantastic experience. We talked about that game all weekend in terms of the character development and stuff like that.
We've been talking about it for a year and change since it happened.
Yes.
It was just so dang good.
We have Captain Kirk throwing a tribble at us. This one's going to require some explanation.
Yep. So the context of this, earlier that day, we'd been to a panel. There was the dating game panel.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before. Dating game panels at cons are always jokes.
Yes. You are not actually attempting to hook up with
It's more an excuse to role play in your cosplay outfit.
Yes.
And particularly when it's the wrestling people, all of whom are married to each other.
Yeah. It was great. So again, this was you volunteered to be the bachelorette.
Yep.
The contestant, whatever it's called.
Yep.
And they had 3 eligible gentlemen, one of whom was Captain Kirk, one of whom was I can't quite remember what the other 2 costumes were.
Deadpool was one of them.
Deadpool was one of them. So they you were facing away from them, you asked them questions, they answered, and at the end you said which one of them you would go on a date with.
I think we picked Deadpool because that was the person who was hosting all the events that weekend, and they thanked us for coming to all their panels afterwards.
Yeah, that was great. He's a nice guy.
Yeah. And then later we went to their wrestling, just kind of support them for the end of the day.
And one of the things that the guy dressed as Captain Kirk was doing was throwing tribbles into the audience.
Yep.
When he spotted you, he threw one tribble to us and was just like, you should have chosen me.
Well, that happened later because that was one of the ones where they went off the audience to wrestle. So he was punching somebody in the chair next to me and shouting, you should have picked me for your date.
Yeah.
Which I think is the moment you fell in love with wrestling as a concept.
I get that. Fell in love is a strong term. I got it. That was the event at which I got wrestling for the first time. Insofar as it's panto for adults.
Yep.
Because up until that point, I'd been making the mistake that a lot of people make, which is I kept trying to think of it as a combat sport, which it isn't. It's performance art. And that's fine.
It's performance art that is real.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're a child, wrestling is 100% real.
Santa Claus rules apply.
Santa Claus rules apply. But yeah, panto for adults.
Yep. So switch back to the RPGs just so I don't forget them. Vampire 2, Electric Boogaloo.
So the degree this was not long after Scooby Dread. This was 2 weeks later. The degree to which this was a completely brilliant TTRPG experience that was also completely different from Scooby Dread. Scooby Dread was this close, intimate, deep role-playing experience where we got some really dark themes going. And Vampire 2 Electric Boogaloo was pretty much what you would expect from that title.
We were feeding Bill Clinton weed.
Yeah. No, we were feeding him the special weed.
Okay.
Because my character was the stoner character,
Yep.
And we were like throwing the most ultimate kick-ass high school party ever.
Yep.
So one of the things I basically said was, yeah, about 60% of the the cupcakes he makes for this party are just the normal weed, and then the rest are the extra spicy stuff.
And this was just one of those tables where it's just one of those things that's impossible for even a GM to manage, where it's just like the table has chemistry.
Yeah.
Like fantastic chemistry. To the point where like he accidentally printed off 2 of the same character sheets.
Yeah, I was like, oh damn, I'm going to be 1 character sheet short. And 2 of the players just realized they were playing the same character and just rolled with it. Yeah. They were just both called Reed.
Yeah.
One of them changed the way he spelled Reed, but still kept his name as Reed.
Yep. And they were both, werewolves or something.
Yeah, they were both werewolves.
I'm Reed, he's Reed.
We are the Reeds. They were just like, yeah, we're just a band.
Yep.
The band really needs a drummer, but they've been having a hard time finding a 3rd guy named Reed. Who's also a drummer, and it's just like, everybody got the assignment of, we are here to take a very serious rule system, because Vampire the Masquerade is a rule system that takes itself quite seriously, and make the entire thing stupid.
Yep. Right
down to, like, again, one of my favorite jokes was the time when we asked about the high school mascot. It was like, it's rat people. And I think it was you was like, yeah, given the nature of this school, there probably would be actual rat people who go to this school. Oh God, how racist is the mascot? And then we just like rolled with that. Just made like a terrible mascot that was super problematic to rat people.
Yeah, and it was a good table because somebody from that table I think reached out about how much they had fun playing with this year.
Yeah, like I got a message from one of the people we played at that at that table, being like, "Hey, I can't make it to UConn this year. I hope you have a great time." I was like, "That's really sweet."
Yeah,
I didn't message him back and just kind of tell him how it went.
Yeah, and send a link to the podcast.
Yeah,
and I'm glad that we got to meet the GM again because again, one of the best comedy GMs I've seen based on these 2 games.
Yeah, like Vampire 2 Electric Boogaloo. Completely stupid.
Yep.
A lot of fun. And it was very much what we needed that weekend. Because that was the weekend right before you had surgery. And you needed something to distract you. And that was a really good game for it.
It was fantastic. So next we have first cosplay competition win.
Yep. Which one was that?
I think technically that was Animate. Because it was the runway contest at Animate.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was actually a lot of competition for, so I was pretty happy with that. I think we won best group, so. And we have a medal, which is cute.
Yep. And since then we've won a few bits and bobs.
Yeah, generally when it's just pure, like, costuming, they don't care about construction, I find I tend to at least place.
Yep. Because again, you're good at that.
Yep.
Yeah, whereas once they start getting into the nitty-gritty, oh, did you hand sew this? I used a sewing machine. It's not really properly sewing if you don't sew it by hand. Yeah, if you get into that kind of nonsense, then no, it's just not worth it to us.
It's been nice to have recognition for my costumes over the years, though.
Yeah.
So that's been very sweet.
It is.
I think I won about 10 awards now.
I honestly have no idea.
It's pretty close. A lot of them I want to emphasize are at smaller cons or whatever.
Yeah, once factoring the performance stuff, it probably is. Yeah, because we've got at least 1 or 2 of those as well.
Yeah, maybe I can add them to my CV or something. Okay, Princess RPG.
Princess RPG. Sorry I put a lot of RPGs front loaded, but yeah. This one was really fun just because it was another case of the table got the assignment.
Yeah, first year at Origins, so 2023.
First year at Origins when we played Princess RPG.
That's what I thought you were talking about.
I was talking about the first time we ran it.
Oh, we already have the Goose RPG for that one. I was talking about the first time we played in it with those 2 psychotic children.
I mean, the 2 psychotic children were pretty good.
Like, I would keep the Goose RPG and have this one be that earlier Princess RPG.
Fair enough.
Because, that one was just it was one of our first role-playing games.
It was, and it was a really good experience. So it's like I want to have at least one GMing thing on that. Though.
Okay, we'll find some GMing thing for you to do. We'll put it in later. We only have 45 minutes till we get home.
36.
Yeah, we're not going to get through this whole list anyway.
We've got time. But yeah, so
yeah, this was a Polymorph Games. I think was our first time playing Polymorph Games. Silly Princess RPG. 2 kids. One I would say about 7, 8. One about preteen-ish.
12-ish, 13-ish, somewhere in that ballpark.
I think Possibly siblings. It was a bit unclear. And again, with kids that young, you don't tend to ask questions because, you know.
You just don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there was only one adult with them. Though.
Yes, there was an adult who was just kind of hanging back that was just watching them.
All right.
Yeah, I'm just got somewhere, but I'm fine.
That's fine. But yeah, again, there was an adult with them watching them, so that was fine.
Yeah, but there were two. The adults at the table got the assignments, and we're all playing like ridiculously themed princesses.
Yeah. So one of the the younger girl wanted to be the Princess of Frogs.
Mm-hmm.
She was incredibly happy to be the Princess of Frogs.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of the things that you define as part of the Princess RPG is your shoes, and she gave herself shoes with springs so she could hop. Like that was great.
She was very cute.
Whereas the other one, we weren't sure she was having fun. Like
she just named her character Princess and didn't give herself a theme.
Yeah. And we're like, okay, I can't tell if she's having fun or not. I hope she's okay. And she's not too bored. And then came the polar bear's house,
mm-hmm.
where she decided to turn on the stove and leave.
Yep.
And we realized, oh, okay, she's a murder hobo.
Yep. You gotta go through the murder hobo phase.
Yeah. Which led to the immortal line later on where we found a bathtub. So do I have a toaster? Roll to see if you remember the toaster. Yeah, I did. Okay, you pull a toaster out of your horse's saddlebags. Okay, I need to find an outlet to plug it in. Oh, God. It was just the most beautiful combination of, like, incredibly wholesome, just wanted to be the Princess of Frogs, and murder hobo psycho in a way that was just like, the system's not even built for murder hoboing. She's just having fun.
Yeah, it was a great, like, mixed tables can be difficult to play with when you're playing with kids. This table just got the assignment and everyone was having a blast. So
yeah, that was great.
Next we have Whose Line?
Yep.
I don't even know which one we're referring to.
Again, we've done Whose Line a couple of times. I'm 90% sure we did it the first time through Ohio.
Yeah.
Which again, like, Whose Line at cons, we've seen it done two different ways. One of which is there is a panel, they will do improv stuff, the audience will hopefully laugh.
Yep.
And one of which is we're going to take volunteers from the audience, have fun with it.
And we pretty much always prefer the audience version.
We generally do. I will say this, the group that tends to do it at FurCon, so Alkali and whoever he's wrangled in, usually manage to pull off the just them version without too many problems, and it's still very funny. But even he really, he admits the audience participation version is great just because he has no goddamn idea what's going to happen with it.
And he is great at, Alkali is one of the best I've seen at being able to, warm up and get a crowd on their side, generally. Yep. And he does have, I think, at least 20 years experience of doing comedy on stage.
Yeah. And again, he is just very good at getting the audience to the state they need to be in order to laugh at whatever the jokes are. And that's not to say that people don't come up with funny jokes. It's just sometimes you need to be warmed up before you're ready for those, and that's fine. So Whose Line panels, pretty much, generally a hoot. Generally, I prefer audience participation over, just being done by a panel, but just because the audience is going to come up, with weird nonsense.
Next, we have the Goose RPG.
Yep. So this was, I think, was this the first game you GM'd to the con?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
Everyone was a goose.
Yep. It's called One Honk Before Midnight.
Yep.
It's a great little game. And you wrote your own adventure for it.
I did. I think I've gotten more comfortable as a GM in the previous year, kind of winging it a bit more.
Winging it.
Yeah, but we had a great table. They all wanted to be geese. They understood the assignment.
Yep. Everybody was being silly. Everybody was being over the top. At one point, we found a tailor shop, and even before you told them what was in the window, everyone was like, okay, we need a trench coat.
Yep.
I've seen your notes for that game. It was in your notes that there was a trench coat in there. But everybody understood, 5-goat in a trench coat is funny.
And I rewrote the cha-cha slide to go one honk this time.
Yeah. And the entire table honked on cue.
Yep.
You managed to get at least 3 different tables to do that now.
Yep.
But yeah, so again, a lot of fun. I was really, really proud of you that day because I know how much it stresses you out doing it. I'm always I'm really proud of you anytime you like push yourself out of your comfort zone to do something like that.
And next we have hanging out and asking each other trivia questions. I think it was a Doki Do.
Yep. So, what we mentioned earlier about Doki Winterfest was they just kind of trusted everybody. So at one point, we went to a trivia panel. We got to like 5 minutes after the panel was supposed to start, and there was a distinct lack of panelist. And the audience just kind of stood up. One person went over, picked up the microphone, and was like, "Okay, well, I'm not the person who's supposed to be running this, but like," and asked the room a trivia question, and somebody in the audience answered, and then like we just started passing the microphone around, asking and answering trivia questions that we were just coming up with off the top of our head. And like halfway through, the staff realized that the panelists hadn't turned up, and were really surprised to find us all there just having a great time asking each other stupid trivia questions. And they were like, well, somebody needs the room at this time, but up until then, have fun.
Yep.
Whereas we know for a fact that some other cons, they would have like kicked us out and confiscated the microphones and like, a bunch of other stuff. Like, Doki Winterfest just kind of trusted us and didn't care and just believed we would have fun without being idiots about it. And that was nice. I just felt that hard to trust people, but you wouldn't know that from some cons.
Yep. Next we have meeting Agnes.
Yep. So, if you are watching this on the YouTubes, or you're, looking at this on any of the podcasting sites, you will notice the picture we use for our profile. That is a picture that was done for us at the first Fan Expo by an artist named Agnes, who is fantastic. We've been watching her all weekend doing sketch duels,
yes,
which she's very, very good at.
Yes.
And we were like, I wonder what her prices are like. And we went over, and her prices were very reasonable. So we said, okay, would you be willing to, do some art of us in our costumes? And she said, absolutely. So she drew that for us, and we've had it ever since.
Yeah. And she also said like something along those. Yeah. When I just got into the industry, I was just like, I'm going to work really, really hard in my 20s so I can like coast a little bit later. I'm like, I identify with this person.
Yep. Yep. Again, we've been a little sad the last two Fan Expos. She didn't come back.
Yeah. I hopefully she doesn't come back because she has too much work to do. But
yeah.
She's great. And I hope we do get to see her again someday.
Yes, so do I. Because again, like,
I know she remembers us, but that's fine.
Her artwork is great. I'd love to get more of it.
Yep. Next we have Danganronpa.
So
we talked about before for KaziCon.
Yep. So this is Desi's panel at KaziCon. Like, she runs a couple of specific panels that she does every year. This is clearly her like favorite thing.
Yeah, she basically makes her own Danganronpa video game for this, and like it's forever ruined any other Danganronpa panel at any other con.
Yeah, because most of them will basically just get a panel together and have them read out a script.
Yep.
Perfectly fine, reasonable. Like for this one, she pre-records it. She draws her own artwork. She
basically makes it a game we can all play together.
Yep.
And it's insane.
Like the only issue is that just like because of the exact way it works, I think she's a bit stingy with the number of lives she gives us.
Just because anyone in the audience can yell pause, and when it's about 30 people, somebody's going to do it.
Yep.
But it's still the most amazing. Like it's worth buying a ticket to this con just to attend this panel.
Absolutely. Yeah, like this, the panel is fantastic, and again, like she does such a good job of replicating the style of the games that when we went to it the first year, I was 2/3 of the way through before I realized she made it herself. I assumed she just clipped footage from one of the games. That's how good a job she did.
Yeah.
So yeah, and again, she's just constantly coming up with character concepts. Just like, yeah, it's phenomenal.
Yeah. Next, we have the Techo cosplay contest.
I'll let you talk about this one.
Okay. You're gonna have to talk about the next one, so good luck with that.
Cool. I don't know what the next one is, but
you'll see. So yeah, the Techo cosplay contest we talked about, it was well managed. They had rehearsal time. They had time slots for everyone. The person behind us was somebody we actually met from Fan Expo who was in there. Trying to think of what the term is.
Burlesque show?
Yeah, burlesque. I was trying to say boudoir, but it's different than that. Again, it's burlesque, but it's PG burlesque show at Fan Expo, and she was just there by herself because her dance troupe was at another con, and like everyone was just backstage hanging out, having a blast, and like supporting each other, and it was just great.
Yep. Yeah, she was doing a Doctor Who themed burlesque.
Yeah, I think she won
thing,
something, which
as
is
she did, where she was dressed as the TARDIS.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, the TARDIS is the sexiest thing in Doctor Who. I'm going to slow down because that guy's engine was unnecessarily loud, and I'm just going to let him pull ahead of us. So
yeah, it was 12 1, probably the best well-run contest we've been in.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Like, again, there were 50 entries, and we did not mind sitting backstage just kind of watching them. Like, they did such a good job of getting us prepped, of making sure that, like, lighting cues and audio cues and all the stuff was where we needed it to be. And just, like, I love them so much for how much effort they put into getting it right, is the best way to describe it.
You really felt like you were being treated like an actual, like, performer, which was really cool.
Yeah, whereas with a lot of other cosplay contests, if you're like, yeah, okay, so can I get the like lighting cue to come up at a certain time? No.
Like a lot of times they don't even give you rehearsal.
Yeah. Yeah, so you won't even know what the stage is like until you step on it. Whereas this one, like, one of my favorite moments from that rehearsal was when one particular person flubbed their song, and everybody there basically unified and said, "Nope, go again.
Yep.
You've got this. We believe in you. You can do it." And on the second rehearsal, they got it, and then on the actual performance, they got it.
Yep.
And it was just lovely to see that moment of camaraderie, like everybody firmly believing in this person, and just telling them that they could do it. Which again, like sometimes that's all you need is a small group of people that have faith that you can pull it off. So what's the next one?
Meeting those guys.
Oh, those guys. Okay, so this specifically is actually across two different events. So this was at Con on the Cob last year.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Yeah, that thing. We were due to play a game with I can't remember what the game was.
This was like one of those things, and this I think is also why Con on the Cob is on the list. This was like the third event that we were at that got canceled. This time by a different person. So
yep. So yeah, not that game ended up not happening, but we were just in a room with some other people who'd been waiting for it to happen. And we're like, well, we have a few games with us if you just want to play something.
Yeah, so we played Decrypto, which is my favorite game, and it was, I think, one of the closest games of Decrypto we had ever.
It was a really good game of Decrypto.
Yeah. And they'd driven down from Akron.
Yep.
And then randomly, 2 weeks later, as we were walking out of the Renaissance Festival last year, we saw them again.
We just bumped into them. We were on our way out. They were on their way in. We said hi.
It was great.
With hindsight, I wish I'd given them our contact information.
Yeah. But, if you happen to have found us again.
Yeah, if you've randomly found this podcast, feel free to email us, concouplepodcast@gmail.com.
By the way, we have 30 of these. We're on 16.
Cool. Let's keep going.
Okay. Mommy, the pretty rainbow lady, gave me a flag.
So this is when you were dressed as Rainbow Road.
Yeah, and I thought I'll give something to give kids, because some people do that.
Yep.
And you don't want to give kids candy, because sometimes kids can't eat candy. So I'm like, what's something dumb that I can give kids that's relatively cheap to buy? So I got these like little like racing flags to hand them out.
Just the black and white checkered flags. Because again, you were Rainbow Road, which is a giant rainbow ball gown. It's one of the ones you got married in.
Mm-hmm.
And there was just this lovely moment where you handed a small child a flag, and all we heard was her running back to her mother yelling, "Mommy, the pretty rainbow lady gave me a flag." And that just broke us both in half. It was so goddamn cute.
We've had so many good moments with kids that just kind of break us in half.
Yeah, like,
kids are the best.
Kids at cons are just wonderful, because like a kid at a con, like, there is so much magic to it.
Yeah.
Like, it's all real to them in ways that, like, even you and I can't really replicate that.
Like, the costumes just look big and gargantuan, because, like, when you're that small, they are, and it feels real in this deeper way, and Like, I wish my parents had taken me to cons as kids, although I don't know how they would have been when we were children.
Bad is the answer to that. Again, like, I feel like honestly, my parents would probably enjoy something like Starbase Indie.
Starbase India is definitely their speed. Colossal Con is not.
No. I mean, they like drinking, but they more prefer the like quiet home drinking, not the raucous out with other people drinking. Yeah. Next.
So we have Sungwon, which you kept correcting to Dungeon when I was writing this down. The picture we got taken with Sungwon.
Yeah. So this was, I can't for the life of me remember the name of the con.
It's the one in Bowling Green.
Yeah. Small con in Bowling Green at a university campus, if memory serves.
I think it might be Anna Marathon. I don't remember for certain, though.
Maybe. But one of the guests was Sungwon, who, if you're not familiar, is also known as ProZD.
Yep.
Who like at that time he was primarily known for his like internet videos.
He also has done a ton of voice acting.
He's now done a ton of voice acting.
He was starting to at that time.
He was starting to at that time. He's now done just a lot since.
Yeah, and he generally has a very crowded table because he actually gives autographs and pictures away for free still, which is awesome. Which is
great. But yeah, like we've been trying to figure out what we were going to do as our costumes for that convention.
Yeah.
And we were only doing that as a one-dayer.
And I had just gotten like this weird mystery box thing from one of my clothing companies that came with this like white skirt, and I'm like, what am I going to do with this? And then I got the idea to like make a cow costume to be Cool Cow from his video series.
Because he does a series where he has made up this card game.
Yep.
And we're like, okay, well, what can I do to go with Cool Cow? And then we remember that Count Cornelius Cheddar is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I got a bunch of orange stuff. I like, and an orange top hat, and then hey presto, we were Cool Cow and Count Cornelius Cheddar.
Yep.
And he was so like tickled by the fact, like we told him that during his panel, just before I asked him a question, and like he was so happy about that. Like at the end of the panel, he jumped down off stage to get a picture with the two of us.
Yeah.
So I think it's the first time anybody's cosplayed anything like. People have done it a bunch since because he's in, among other things, Delicious in Dungeon. So I've seen a bunch of the characters
he created himself. These were like characters from his YouTube series that he created.
Yeah, and he was just like, he thought that was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that
he posted it on Twitter at the time period. This was before Twitter went to shit.
Yep. Yeah. So like again, that was just that was sweet.
Next we have compliment dueling.
Compliment dueling. Do you want to talk about compliment dueling since you were the one who won?
Yeah. So compliment dueling is basically what it sounds like. It's where you're dueling by giving each other the best compliment, generally.
Yep.
And generally you're trying to give people compliments on things that they can control rather than things that they can't a lot of the time. And you can't repeat any compliments. There's a lot of rules, and it's being judged by two steampunkers because it's, of course, a steampunk event. You basically have to keep your cool while being complimented, while thinking of other compliments to give people, generally, which was great. I went up and did a really intense match against somebody for the first round.
You did.
And
then we ended up facing each other in the finals. Which, again, was another one of those, they knew we were married, so they knew it was going to make a good final show. Because, again, like, you and I know crap about each other we can bring out in something like that.
Yeah. And I won, which I was very proud of.
Yeah. Because I have the advantage of this accent.
But I will admit, anytime we started opposite sides of the bracket in like one of these things and then meet each other in the finals is so great.
Satisfying. Again, this isn't on the list because I know we didn't mention it earlier. Something similar happened with Defend Your Waifu.
Yep, but that was this year.
Was that this?
Oh,
that
yeah,
was
this year.
Was this year, yeah.
That's why I didn't put it on the list.
That's
it's probably going to be in my end of year. I'm going to tell you now.
That's fair. But yeah, like anytime you and I get to face off against each other in something that dumb, it's always great.
Yeah, and I took pride in winning because I had the disadvantage of not having the cool accent at a steampunk con.
This is true. But again, like compliment dueling, try it. It's really fun. Mm-hmm. It's very stupid, but like it's just very wholesome as well. Like again, you compliment people on their fashion, not on their face, is the best way to describe it. It's like they can't control their face.
Next, we have umbrella dueling.
Yep. I liked umbrella dueling you.
Yes.
This is fun for me. Because again, I don't get to sword fight anymore just because the nearest group is like an hour and 20-minute drive away. Mm-hmm. And I do not want to be driving an hour and 20 minutes home after fencing all evening.
Umbrella dueling is what it sounds like. Umbrellas are your sword, and generally in this you have to knock a top hat off someone's head.
Yeah. So it's reasonably safe. And again, like, the umbrellas in this context are usually PVC piping clad with foam.
Yeah, it's not an actual umbrella.
Because again, like they want it to be as safe as possible. You need to be able to hit each other with them without worrying over much. hurting each other or damaging costumes or anything like that. Umbrella dueling is just fun. And I managed to knock your hat off with a perfect verge that I was very happy with.
Yep. You did win. I'm not surprised. You also have the height advantage and the reach advantage and all the other advantages.
Yep.
Okay. That person who wanted to base their book character after me.
Yes, you want to explain this one?
So I went to like a witch's ball after Halloween last year. Went to several. It might have been the year before. I'm getting completely mixed up at this point, but it's fine.
I would have to check the photos because we do actually have photos from that
one. But again, it was just I was wearing Persephone. It's a costume that wows. It's a costume I know works. I was wearing a white hair with it instead of a red or my normal pink one, just because I was obsessed with those wigs. And yeah, I think it was like 22. I don't know. It's fine. Anyway, the point is that, I just inspired somebody so much with my art that they wanted to base a book off me and like made me take a bunch of pictures next to the window with consent, obviously, and it was very sweet and fun.
Yeah. Again, don't know if that book ever got written or if...
A lot of people write books that don't get written, and that's okay.
Yep.
Like some people write books just for them, some people write books that 3 people read. The main thing is just they're writing and having fun.
Yeah. Again, art matters. Sometimes the creation of art is a worthy goal in of itself, yes. Even if nobody else ever appreciates it.
And even if it's just one person that appreciates it. Like this podcast is never going to take off, but the reason I think we like doing it for an audience is that, even if it's just important to that one person, that's worth it.
Exactly. With that said, like, comment, share, subscribe, etc.
Oh my God, shut up.
We must feed the algorithm god.
Okay. Ethics panel at Marcon.
So, Marcon, again, this was your first time really, presenting in a professional capacity at a convention.
Mm-hmm.
This is one where you got to bring your PhD to bear in a way that you don't get to terribly often, and that was really cool to see. People respected you there.
Yeah, and that's always the nervousness I have when I think I'm presenting a panel in a professional context, is being a female PhD in a field like ethics, which has a very big Dunning-Kruger effect about it, because everyone thinks they understand what ethics means. They don't.
Dunning-Kruger.
You correcting me in this moment doesn't wear good on you.
I know.
You're a dick.
I am, but you like me.
That actually did sting a little.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Not my intention.
Yeah, but again, it's just one of those things where it's hard because I don't always know when I'm going to walk in a panel room if I'm going to be immediately respected because I don't have a penis, and it sucks. And because I don't look like what professors look like, you have to fight that much harder, and now they're just trying to disrespect professors' profession. So it's just nice to have those moments where it's people who are actually paying attention to you and listening to you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was very fun. Next, we have reading bad fanfics. Are you being recruited to read bad fanfics?
Yeah. So this was at Anime Midwest?
This was Anime Crossroads.
Anime Crossroads, thank you. We go to a lot of conventions, I lose track, especially the anime ones. But yeah, so this was a bad fanfiction panel. Mm-hmm. These are pretty common, people reading out terrible fanfiction. They realized that I sounded like this.
Yep.
Which means I got looped in to read a couple of different things because they did a 18-plus version of the panel and a family-friendly version of the panel.
Yeah. And I think they were supposed to trade off people who read, but everyone was just like, no, you're too good at it. Just keep reading the entire time.
Just leave the guy with the sexy British voice on.
Yep.
Because again, I have some experience narrating stuff. I've done it before. So even when what I'm reading is hot garbage, I'm actually quite good at, playing through it. So I got to read, among other things, Harry Potter and the School of Prayer and Miracles.
Yep.
Not the whole thing, just the first few chapters, which is that one's notoriously so bad you can't tell if it's a joke or not.
Yep.
The other thing I ended up reading that weekend is definitely not a joke. It's definitely somebody did not realize how problematic it was when they wrote it. It was a piece of fan fiction that's a crossover between 2 things that the author really likes, one of which is Dragon Ball Z, and one of which is The Diary of Anne Frank. Mm-hmm. You heard me correct. It is Goku/Anne Frank fan fiction. And yes, Goku does fight Hitler. Look it up. It's sure something.
Yep.
So yeah, but no, that was a lot of fun. And I am aware of the fact I have an unfair advantage because I have this voice.
You also are just good at reading generally, like
Yeah.
compared to most people. Like you are very good at reading out loud.
Again, that's practice. Like on my old YouTube channel, which still exists if you can find it, I did like Let's Plays of stuff, and I did Let's Plays of visual novels, which meant I was effectively narrating an entire novel myself because I was reading out all the dialogue, all the narration, all of that. So that's actually really good practice for this kind of thing. If you want a hint, yeah.
So after that, we have the body language game.
Do you want to explain what this looked like?
So basically, the body language game is basically charades. The game, it's just with more rules. I don't know how to describe it besides that, but we got into the room. This was for a furry con because we wanted to put at least one game show moment over here. Shout out to Grego again. We did all his game shows too. But at this particular one, there was a lottery system where you basically got to pull a ticket or I think donate for tickets, and our ticket got called.
Yep.
And the host was like, "Whose ticket got called?" Because no one was jumping up shouting, and you were like, "It's us. We're having a spousal debate." So we're debating who was going to go on it.
Yep.
We eventually decided on you.
Yep. I feel like you'd be more comfortable doing it now than you were back then.
It was only a year ago.
A year?
Yes, it was a year. It was 2024.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, partially that. It's partially I do I'm somebody who after we've been to a con once, I think does get more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But you went up and it was a very, very close game, and finally was the tiebreaker. We just had to answer one question, and your word was penguin.
Yep.
So you hobbled like a penguin.
Yeah, me trying to mime being a penguin on stage. They got it.
Yep.
We won. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And you won me a little stuff.
I did. Is that Rufus? Or is that
No, I think it was the one we named after the person who was there.
But yeah. Okay, 7 minutes until we get home.
Okay, lightning round. We're almost there. Winning Starry Night at con. That's basically what it sounds like. Somebody did a spooky version of Starry Night where the clouds are ghosts and stuff like that.
Yep.
And I just kind of hoping I would win it all night, and it was just a ball, and my number got called, and I got to pick it, and it was just the best.
Yep.
I still love that picture.
Yeah, that's great. We need an actual wall to hang it on, but it's just propped up at the moment in the office, and it looks really cool.
Next is just John Krakenhauer.
Okay, the context for this is we were at a particular event where we were doing a drunk history party.
Yes.
And a drunk history party is what it sounds like. Everybody comes prepped with a lecture on a historical subject, and you get drunk.
Yep.
And then you talk about it. You were not drinking for that one, but we planned it ahead in advance that I would be. And this was a lot of fun. But I just had so much fun with how much you hate John Krakenhauer.
Yeah, John Krakenhauer is not really history because he's still alive and stuff like that, but he's written books and was on Everest for the Everest disaster and then blamed it on a woman who was just a client who didn't do anything other than was on the mountain and had more mountaineering experience than he did, and wasn't the cause of it. And yeah, his reporting is just bad. It's not up to journalistic ethics standards, and I don't like him as a person. I don't think he deserved to die on Everest. I'm sure it was very traumatic about him, but he also made $1 billion off of it. So, yeah.
I, on the other hand, did a presentation on Harry Hotspur.
I said that. I said that, I thought.
Nope.
Okay. Anyway, let's move on.
Yep.
The wizard ball dance thingy. This is one of those Harry Potter with the serial numbers shaved off thing that doesn't support the author who shall not be named.
Yep.
But it was fun.
It was fun. Mostly what I remember about that event is dancing with you.
Yeah.
That was one of our early ball kind of events, and just holding you close and dancing with you was just a really beautiful moment.
It was a lot of fun, and it was cute and very well done.
Yeah. Again, it was very clear that 2 years earlier it would have been actively Harry Potter themed, and they now had to shave all the serial numbers off because they didn't want to give money to, or they didn't want to be seen to be supporting.
We're incredibly certain that money did not go to J.K. Rowling in any way, shape, or form. This is a private event, and she doesn't own the concept of wizards and witches.
Exactly.
What?
Nothing.
Next we have That Is 3 Squirtle.
That is not enough Squirtle. Okay. So there was one con where we were doing a scavenger hunt, and more cons should do scavenger hunts.
Real scavenger hunts.
Yeah.
Like, part of the problem we're having is a lot of con scavenger hunts, quote unquote, are just like, go around the vendor's hall and find QR codes. That's lame.
That sucks. This scavenger hunt was basically a case of, okay, here are a whole bunch of different categories. Get me a picture of something that fits the category. So, like, a character with explosive powers.
Yeah, an underrated side character.
Yep. A balloon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there were just loads and loads and loads of them, and they added more throughout the weekend because they were doing it through an app.
Yep.
And at one point, we were trying to get a group of, 5 or more Pokemon cosplayers?
Yeah, and they do say that for anyone who's in cosplay or anything like that. We also did a snowball fight at 8 a.m. for this, which
Yeah,
was
we did.
great.
That was fun. Yeah, they do clarify that you need to get permission from people.
Yeah.
And, like, if they don't look like they're posing for the photo, they might not accept the photo.
We always ask, though.
Yeah.
And, like, a couple of them you have to, like, do stuff with people. I was proud of when we got, like cosplayers of every color lined up.
Yeah, that was... We were lucky we were doing the cosplay competition that year, because that meant we could wrangle people.
Yeah, everyone was just, like, in the green room waiting for the competition to start. And we were like, hey, can you line up for this photo? And everyone was like, sure.
Yep. That was great. But yeah, there was a moment towards the evening of one day where we were looking for 5 Pokemon cosplayers in one photo.
Yep.
And 3 guys dressed as Squirtle walked past, and we were at that, like, drunk,
we had
not
just
enough
finished
sleep.
doing performance for the cosplay contest. We hadn't had enough sleep. It was 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah. And we just, that is 3 Squirtle.
That is not enough Squirtle.
And then, it just broke us in half. Like, we just were giggling.
It didn't help that 2 Pikachu cosplayers walked by like 5 minutes after that. And I was like, damn it.
It was like, I could go grab the Squirtle. No, damn it. No, they're too far gone. Damn it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we got that one in the end.
We didn't. We got 3rd place, and 2 teams tied for 1st, basically by teaming up with each other to get the last ones last minute.
Yeah. Which, it was just... It was a lot of fun, and more cons should do it, because it actually got us to goddamn talk to people.
It did.
And, like, take photos, which we're bad at normally.
Yeah, like, we love this as an event. It is a bit hard to run, because you'd have to find an app that will do it, and you'd have to be a con that's, like, I think, reasonable enough size that it's something you can do.
Because you do kind of need somebody to actually be watching the photos as they come in to, like, give them the yay or nay.
But honestly, for Colossal Con, I think this would be great.
Ooh, yeah, this would be really good at Colossal. Like, again, they'd need to assign somebody to actually, like, oversee it, but yeah, this could be phenomenal.
Number 28 is just Anime Court. Like,
Yep.
Anime Court, I think we've explained on this podcast before, is basically you're arguing about dumb stuff in anime.
Yep, which, again, some of the things you argue get kind of weird, some of them get kind of dumb, some of them get occasionally slightly problematic, but in hilarious ways. Like, it's just a lot of fun as an event. And you and I are both good at it. Like, you defending me, against the crime of, like, bad singing.
Yep.
At one particular anime court was great.
Yeah. And next, our second to last one, like a little dog.
I see the puppy.
We have Pictionary History, which is just plain Pictionary at cons is fun.
Yep.
And every single time we played,
the easels collapsed.
Yep.
Nobody has ever managed to turn up to Pictionary with a functioning easel, and it's kind of hilarious.
Yep. Sometimes it pretty much also always collapses in the most, like, ridiculous way possible.
Yep.
Every time. Half the time somebody has to hold it the entire time.
Yeah. Like, we've seen the version done with the phone app, which works pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it works fine. It's just, there's something fun about, like, there's been at least one where there was just like, okay, hold it. And they, like, used their friend's back to brace it while they were badly drawing something, and it was just like, yeah, this tracks. Yeah, like, that was a lot of fun.
And then finally we have Aaron knockoff panel thing. That's just a panel of that guy who does, like, knockoff bootleg toy panels.
Yep. So Aaron Reynolds, the guy who does Effin' Birds and Swear Trek,
yep,
does a panel that we can't for the life of us remember the name of, but is a great, it's a lot of fun.
It's basically just like they found, like, the knockoff versions of, like, Spider-Man and stuff like that.
Yeah. Where it's just like, okay, so this toy collection nominally has a Spider-Man, a Superman, and a Ninja Turtle in it. Okay. It's like, none of these things fit together. Also, it's like, like, here's a toy that, had a misprint so that, like, giant Superman heads ended up on, like, tiny Batman bodies and stuff like that. And it's just like,
All of these are basically like offshoot companies that are clearly trying to market towards like grandparents who don't actually know what these things are
Yep.
to get their kids because they see them as the cheapest thing, and then kids who are too young to actually care what version of the things they get. So,
Yep. So yeah, like it's a very fun panel. It's very, very silly. You know, like honestly, that La Baby we found
yep.
this week might qualify for it, though.
Honestly,
It's probably
we should
not.
bring that.
Yeah, it's not horrifying enough.
It's
for,
really not. It's honestly cuter than Labubus are.
Yeah. But yeah, so again, fun panel. You know, very well run. Like he's somebody who understands the assignment. Is the best way to describe it.
Okay, so that was a 3-hour-long episode of us rambling about absolutely nothing.
No. It was a 2.5-hour long episode about us rambling about absolutely nothing. It was a 3-hour drive, but we didn't start recording for a little bit.
Head bobbing? That's head bobbing.
That's head bobbing. Yay! Duck flirting.
Phil's not having any of it. But
yeah. If you're not aware, ducks like bob their heads at each other when they're trying to flirt. It's real cute.
Yep. That duck's flirting real hard.
Yep. I think you are cute, Bob. Bob.
You're also cute, Bob. Bob.
Yeah.
So
this is what happens when you live on live next to a campus that's got a lake and a bunch of ducks on it.
So if you actually listen to all of this, write pineapple in the comments.
I mean, if they actually did that, we'd get more comments than usual because not a lot of people comment.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, thank you very much for listening. Next week, Starbase Indie, where we are both doing stuff.
Yep.
So that should be fun.
Yeah. Starbase Indie, GalaxyCon, for better or worse, and then probably Anime Uverse are our last 3 cons of the year. So we'll have a couple other content. We're hoping to get Pop Culture Choreography and Wetlands Ninja on for a special con game show one of the off weeks.
Yep.
And then after that will be our end of the year con wrap up. It'll be similar to this. Those were dear. They were cute.
Yep.
Where we actually have like a top 10 list that we've prepared in a lot more detail.
Yep. And are actually planned for
yes.
and stuff. Planning these episodes is hard work.
Going to cons is also hard work.
This is true. But, we're almost home. Then we get to pet the dog, pet the bunnies.
Yep. What?
Poor Toby's getting his second vaccine shot tomorrow and he's not going to like it.
Sean has to go too, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, fun fact, if you have bonded buns, you can never separate them.
Yep, because if you take one to the vet, they might not recognize each other when they get back.
Yep.
So so if one has a vet appointment, they both do.
Right. We will see you guys next week.
So, yep. Thank you
very much.
Yep. See you at Starbase Indie. Thank you very much for listening. And we hope to see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.